It's the Mixed Martial Arts Hour with
The Mixed Martial Arts Hour is back in your life on this Wednesday, November 16th, 2022. Hello again, everyone. I sure hope you're doing well, wherever you may be. If you're in Canada, Northeast, perhaps you're dealing with your first snowfall of this winter season. Very depressing stuff. Cold, rainy outside. So happy to be indoors. Of course, we are still kind of experiencing the afterglow, the aftermath of UFC 281. We'll be talking a lot about 281 on this particular program. Another big show for us, and as always, we love Wednesdays. I need to clean my glasses. They're very dirty. I just noticed this.
Do you need some glasses cleaner?
You got some, Frank? No chance you have.
Well, we have screen cleaner.
And quite frankly, I'm a little disappointed that no one mentioned this beforehand. You know, what with all the rehearsals.
You were rehearsing without glasses.
No, I wasn't.
No.
This is crazy. Okay, all good now. I used my Kelly Slater shirt to clean my glasses. It's a crazy time to be alive. I am excited about today's show, my friends, because on Wednesdays, we answer your questions on the nose. And it's everyone's favorite segment of the week. Also, it's a chance for the Parlay Pals to get back on track before the holiday season. I think we're due. I think we're due for a big one. So we'll make our picks for this weekend's fights. There's a lot to pick from. UFC back at the glorious Apex venue. We've got a big Bellator show, their second to last one of 2022 in Chicago. Light heavyweight title on the line, lightweight title on the line. One championship, is back in on Friday on the Amazon platform. So there's a lot to like. There's a lot to choose from, and I feel pretty good about it. What are we doing on today's program? Who are we talking to? Let me tell you. But before I do that, let me also tell you that today's show is brought to you by our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. They are the official sports betting partner of the UFC. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, and this is very important. Use the code the MMA Hour for a special offer when you sign up. Again, that's code the MMA Hour only, yes, at DraftKings Sportsbook. And I mean, this weekend, like I said, a ton to choose from. And you don't even have to use the code for MMA stuff, which is boxing, NBA, NFL, NHL. World Cup coming up. Oh my God, World Cup on Sunday. The big Qatar versus Wales matchup. I can't wait for it all. Oh, I can't wait. I can't get enough. So today's program, back into the show, we'll make our picks. Stay tuned for that. We'll also talk at 4 o'clock to Yair El Pantera Rodriguez. Yes, Yair Rodriguez, who of course on February the 12th will be meeting one Josh Emmett for the interim UFC featherweight title. Same card, of course, that will be headlined by Alex Volkanovski versus Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title. We'll talk to Yair about this big opportunity, his first UFC title fight. Of course, he wanted to fight Volkanovski, didn't get that fight, but is getting a title shot, so I'm sure he's not too upset about it all. Prior to that, we'll be joined in studio by a young man named Ash Belcastro. If you're like really deep in the sport, you know who Ash is. If you're just a casual fan, maybe not, but you definitely know of him and his impact and the people that he works with. He is co-founder of Attain Peace Sports Management alongside someone named Eugene Behrman. They represent all the CKB fighters, including Israel Adesanya, so kind of shares him with the Paradigm guys, Tim Simpson, who you know has been on this show before. Also the founder of Engage, the fightwear company. They represent the likes of Izzy, Dan Hooker, Kai Kara France, Brad Riddell, Carlos Ulberg, so many others. He's going to join us in studio. He's still in New York and has a great backstory, and especially considering what they built from this tiny gym in Auckland, New Zealand. It's a really great story. One of my favorite people in MMA. Looking forward to having Ash in studio at around 3:15. Prior to that, we'll be joined by El Diamante himself, Dustin Poirier. Stay tuned for that. That's going to be a great conversation. Coming off his massive win over Iron Mike Chandler on Saturday at UFC 281. One of my favorite people in MMA. The man himself, Dustin Poirier, where does he go from here? Big win for him in his only fight of 2022. Looking forward to that chat. I am also looking forward to talking to Renato Moicano, who has really come into his own as a personality. Who knew he had this dynamic personality? He cut the promo of the night on Saturday at the event at Madison Square Garden. He defeated Brad Riddell, and at least for now, will be Brad Riddell's last fight. And he's calling out people left and right. He's calling out EA Sports. He's calling out McGregor, Diaz, everyone. He's just a great personality, and I'm looking forward to having him on. That'll be at 2:20, and then prior to that, at 1:50, we'll be joined by Jason House, who is another one of the top managers in MMA. You have seen plenty of his clients on this show before. He is the head man over at Iridium Sports Management, and they represent, believe it or not, over 300 UFC athletes. Over 300. How is that even possible? We'll find out. Names like Brandon Moreno, names like Chito Vera, names like Adrian Yanez, names like Chris Gutierrez and Montel Jackson and the Korean Zombie, names like Alex Hernandez and Jalen Turner, Claudio Puelles. I mean, every division, Chaos Williams. I'm going through the Eric Anders and Ian Heinisch and Dustin Jacoby and Julian Marquez and Walt Harris and Lupe Godinez. I mean, it's just a who's who. He represents all of those and so many more. He'll be joining us in studio, and I love these chats. Maybe not household names to the casual fans, but I'm obviously very interested in the world of MMA business, MMA management. The business of MMA to me is very fascinating. Being a manager, there aren't that many of them. There's like 10, who represent more than one or two. And two of the 10 are going to be joining us in studio, and two of the more prominent ones with the more impressive rosters. So I'm looking forward to those chats very much. But you know how we like to do it, kicking off our Wednesday shows. I've gotten into the habit of starting things off with On the Nose, so let's not waste any time.
It's time for a good old-fashioned Q&A, MMA fans.
People asked us to stop switching cameras.
And
quite the difference.
And so
to hear from the man
I'm a man of the people. I
Ariel
listen when the
Helwani.
people complain, and they said,
Live from the Box
screwing
Studios
them
in
up. Can you do a
little
New
dance?
York City, it's
Thank you,
On
that's
the
better.
Nose. And now, to answer your question,
This
get
is
out
way
your
better, right?
seats and on your feet, because here he is.
I like the camera
Ariel
switching.
Helwani.
We don't want anyone to get hurt.
There were a lot of complaints. And I'm assuming that in the comments for this, there'll be a lot of praise, right?
Yes.
That's usually how it
there
works.
will probably be more complaints
Yes.
about your dancing.
Yeah. Or that. And then I bet you there'll be people saying, oh, I missed the camera switching. You know how it goes. Frank, we do have some breaking news right off the bat. Question one, as Lewis is telling me here, thank you as always to moderator Lewis, is back to being question one. You get what I'm saying? The first person to post a question.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, is the first one up. What's up, Ariel? What a weekend. This is from James. And easily my favorite night of fights this year. One thing that sparked my interest after the fights was Eddie Alvarez tweeting at Michael Chandler in the UFC suggesting that he wants to finish the trilogy with Chandler. Dana seemed to dismiss the idea of bringing in Eddie, but I think it would be a great idea for the UFC to invest in 3 to 4 Eddie fights. What do you think of the idea of bringing him back, and how much of a chance do you give it of actually happening? I'm okay with it. I mean, Eddie's a legend, and there's obviously some fights for him in the UFC. I'd be shocked if they bring him back. Number one, Dana was asked about it, and he didn't seem too keen. He said, we're trying to bring in younger guys, not really veterans. Eddie had his run here, and I just don't see them doing it. Not that they are holding a grudge against him. He left. He did his thing. I think he wants a couple of big paydays, and then he wants to ride off into the sunset. To me, maybe a PFL play, maybe a one-off here or there. But personally, I would be very surprised, and I'm not hearing of any talks with the UFC, and I don't foresee any talks. Not that I wouldn't want it, not that I don't think he deserves it. I would be very surprised. Could it happen? Sure. But right now, nothing going on in that regard, and I personally right now don't foresee anything going on in that regard. Another bit of breaking news. wanted to let you guys know that this is courtesy of my good friends over at Karate Combat, that Raymond, the real deal Daniels, is going to be going up against Rafael Agayev. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly, at Karate Combat 37, Saturday, December 17th at the Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. Of course, Raymond Daniels, one of the all-time great kickboxers, and had that incredible knockout in Bellator back in the day. Both of them consider themselves the best ever. And according to my friends at Karate Combat, this is akin to Randy Couture versus Fyodor Emelianenko or Khabib versus Ferguson. Striking fans have been wanting this for a very long time, like boxing fans wanted Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. So you're getting it on December 17th. Raymond Daniels returning against Rafael Agayev. Now, I also want to let you know, because everyone likes to tell me these things, that the 14th Annual World MMA Awards are going down December 8th in Las Vegas at the Sahara in Las Vegas. You guys going to that Thursday, December 8th at the Sahara? Anyone going? I think we're nominated.
Yeah, oh yeah. MMA fighting nominated for a lot of things. Get your tuxedo ready.
You and Frank are going?
Duh.
Yep.
Wow. Thanks for the invite, guys.
We'll accept on your behalf.
Yeah.
That'd be great. By the way, if you are going, I'd consider going too.
Oh, okay.
Jacob Kruger asks, good afternoon, Ariel. Take out your crystal ball and predict the main events for the first 4 pay-per-views of next year. UFC 284 is already announced. So please hit us up with what you expect at 283, 285, and 286. Jesus. Like, I know what 283, 285, and 286 are. It didn't even happen. Like, I have to look this up. So which one's 283? UFC 283. That one. Okay. The Brazil one. Well, I continue to say, right now it's Davison Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno. I continue to say that I think that it should be Valentina versus Amanda. Who has an issue with this? Why won't we do this? I don't get it. So that's what I would book for 283, although the clock is ticking. That's January 21st. So we got about 2 months. Not impossible, but got to hurry up. We know about 284. That's Islam Makhachev versus Alex Volkanovski. 285 is March 4th. The one they want for that is Francis Ngannou versus John Jones. Obviously, a lot has to happen, but if I'm going to put it out there, okay, I want to see Francis Ngannou versus John Jones. And then 286 is still TBD, but I'm going to say Leon versus Kamaru. We don't know if the UK card is going to be in March, in April, Cardiff, London, Nottingham. Imagine it's at the City Ground. Oh, City Ground, you'll never, never tell them. Oh, City Ground. Scott F. asks, good day, Ariel. 2 quick ones. What's next for Dustin Poirier? I think I speak for the entire MMA community when I say I'd love to see him win an undisputed title in his career, but I wonder if they will immediately book him against the winner of Volk versus Islam due to his performance in the previous title fight. How would you book Dustin's next fight or 2? Really great question. Obviously, we have to see what happens in the title fight. I like the idea of him versus Beneil. Hasn't fought him. Beneil needs that big win. I like that a lot. So I'm going to say that fight. And then the second question is, at this point, Roman Reigns has been built up to be unbeatable. Disagree. Who do you think in the current WWE roster would make sense as a formidable foe for the head of the table? Brock versus Roman has been beaten to death. No thanks. And I would like to see some new angles for the big pay-per-views. I mean, the big one is The Rock versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I would love to see that in Los Angeles. Otherwise, perhaps Cody Rhodes. Otherwise, what about Bray Wyatt? And I will say, I hope this doesn't upset anyone, especially with the narrative out there that I'm, Mr. WWE. I'm not really feeling the Bray Wyatt return just yet. I feel like there's something, I don't know. I wanted the old school Bray Wyatt, and I feel like we're getting Wyndham Rotunda, if you get what I'm saying. I don't know. There's something about it that's missing, but that could be something somewhat fresh. I know he has a history from back in the day. Cody Rhodes hopefully coming back. So there are options, and I don't agree that he's quote unquote unbeatable. At some point, he's got to drop the title. I don't think there's a need for it right now, but I do think by WrestleMania time, it might be good to freshen things up. Andres Good afternoon, Ariel. Ooh, this is exciting. My question this week is regarding the World Cup. Oh, I'm so excited. My question this week is regarding the World Cup. I would love to hear you and GC's picks to win the World Cup. Oh, funny you should say that, other than U.S. and Canada. Frank and Rick are more than welcome to share their picks as well, as long as Rick stops with his terrible takes, such as, and I quote what he said in a past show, the World Cup isn't as big as it used to be. I don't know if that was a direct quote, but yeah. Did he actually say that? Even Lewis adds the footnote, I don't care for the New York Rick slander, agreed, but this comment was a doozy. Did he, GC, did he say that?
I don't think it was word for word. It's not as big as it used to be. I remember calling him out when he was talking about it. I think it's the fact that, like, you can watch everything on demand. There's so many options to watch.
The World Cup is a big deal. Now, I'm curious about the ratings this time around because it's in November, December. So this isn't really World Cup season. But that Black Friday game between England and the U.S., like, what is that going to do ratings-wise? 30 million, 40 million?
You have to think it's going to do just insane numbers. Everyone at home.
Yes. I'm getting, like, giddy just thinking about it. And I do want to let you all know, next Wednesday's show will be airing live at 11 a.m. and will be done by 2 p.m. Eastern time. And there's only one reason for that. Because for the first time in 36 freaking years, the red and white, the Maple Leaf, will be competing in a World Cup match against Belgium at 2 p.m. Eastern time. And there's just no way in hell that I can be sitting here doing anything other than watching that. I need to hear the anthem. I never thought I would hear the anthem. I never thought I would hear it at a World Cup match. Of course, I never thought I would see Team Canada play in the World Cup. And I have to be there when they shock the world and beat Belgium in their first game. So special start time next Wednesday. It will be a good show. We've got a couple people coming in studio. More on that. Beginning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. in the UK, and wrapping up before Canada plays Belgium on Wednesday. I can't wait. We're all going to watch it together here. Should we do a watch party? No, I can't.
We can adjust for Canada, but can't adjust for USA Wales. Okay.
Listen, it's actually really interesting that you say that, because I've put this out there for the last few weeks. Like, we need to figure this out, and finally I just kind of
For all the teams?
took matters into my own hands. Not once until this very moment. And I was wondering if someone, because, the three of you that I was talking about this to, Frank and GC and World Cup hater New York Rick, who I didn't expect to bring this up, not one of you said, oh, by the way, U.S. is playing on Monday. And now you bring it up. Now you bring it up.
That was put into your equation of Canada. I see a Canadian flag on the set. I also see an American flag, American-based show.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
We were talking American politics earlier.
Yeah. Should we get into that?
No.
I think we should.
I would be happy to. I'm not.
Maybe there'll be a question in the OTN.
Yeah. So. Listen, if you want to take Monday off, by all means. Also, you have the luxury of watching it back there, and
That's what we do when you're on air. We just actually.
I don't ask questions.
In fact, Joe, can you change the channel real quick?
It's gonna be great. I got my kids the Panini sticker book. You know that? You guys know about it? Yeah.
Love Panini.
It's big. Yeah, we do. Anyway, New York Rick telling me that he did not, in fact, say that.
There has been a lot of slander. When you said that you were going to move the show, he was like, throw it on a dingy monitor in the studio and keep it rolling.
Wow. Yeah, he wasn't in favor of the time change.
Did he say anything after I proposed it, or?
What proposed?
Because he was like, "We'll put it on a monitor and be done with it." And I was like, "We should move the show earlier."
Yeah, I appreciate that. He said, "I said people don't collectively watch things together like they used to, but of course, a goober clown like that would say that." Anyway, it's interesting that Andres, who I do not think is a goober clown, is asking this question. Why? Because GC actually made some picks yesterday. Yeah. Now, are you willing to share these?
Of course. I would say do not tail me in these endeavors. This is simply for fun and biased. I took Argentina. One last ride for Messi. I think
to win it all.
Yeah, to win it all. I think they've won 36 straight matches now. They're trying to tie Italy's record. I took France. C'est la vie.
Wait, multiple picks?
Yeah, it took 3 teams to win it all. They're obviously all at different odds. I took Argentina plus 550, France plus 750, and then a little longer shot, riding with my guy Christian Eriksen.
Oh,
Took Denmark plus 3,400.
wow. You sent me this, and then I was like, oh, like nothing.
No Canada. No Canada.
We could just kind of be in it together.
But then I also did a little parlay action on to advance from the group stage.
Oh.
I did USA, Denmark, Senegal.
Oh.
Saudi Oman, shout out. Plus 405.
Sure.
And I did that same one and added Switzerland, great country, plus 911. So they'll all probably lose, but I'm going to have a fun time cheering them on.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to watch everything, even the 5 a.m. games. I did this thing on a website. I'm not going to give them a shout out, but there's a website that's doing like pick all the winners and all that stuff, runner up, first place, and then the whole bracket. And Group A, I have Netherlands, Senegal. B, England, US. C, Argentina, Poland. First one that I'm mentioning is the first place. D, France, Denmark. E, Germany, Spain. F, Belgium, Canada. I'm not going crazy. I'm not giving them the first, I'm trying to be reasonable. G, Brazil, Switzerland. H, Portugal, Uruguay. And then we get to the knockout rounds. I have Netherlands, Argentina in the quarters, Canada, Brazil in the quarters. So Canada knocking off Germany in the round of 16. Canada then playing Argentina. Canada making it to the finals.
Wow,
Nice.
I'm shocked.
England, France, Belgium, Portugal, then Belgium, England. Canada, England final for the Commonwealth, for the Lake Queen. Canada prevailing 2-1 in the final. I mean, what a scene it would be.
Now, I mean, yeah, what a scene that would be. How do you feel that Canada currently to advance from the group stages on DraftKings Sportsbook, Belgium minus 750 for Group F, Croatia minus 200, Morocco plus 200, Canada plus 275.
Worst odds?
Worst odds out of Group F to advance.
Listen, would you say plus 275?
Plus 275.
H-Dow.
Advance from the group.
H-Dow.
There it is.
I might have to just. I might have to put my money. Although I feel like I jinx them when I do that.
Yeah, maybe just ride as a fan.
Yeah.
But know that it was there. Know that it was there.
Plus 275 just to get out of the group. It doesn't
Just to
matter if
get
it's
out of
first
the
place or second place.
They're saying Morocco has a better chance.
The disrespect. The absolute disrespect. Morocco? What have they ever done? They don't have Alfonso Davies.
Statisticians are concerned about the respect.
Wow. And that's to advance. Doesn't matter if it's first or second.
Yeah, just to advance.
By the way, what's Canada to win it all?
Man, let's
Drum roll?
Yes.
Yes. Canada plus 25,000.
Wow. The absolute disrespect.
A $5 bet nets you 1,255 bones coming back your way.
Should I do it?
I mean, I don't see why not. It's a donation to DraftKings Sportsbook.
Well, I can't wait.
If you put 5 Canadian dollars on it,
Yes. Does it do that math?
I mean, it would net you 1,255 Canadian dollars.
Are you all in? Like, are you going to watch every game and wake up?
I will
early?
be watching quite a bit, yes. I mean, Black Friday is a dream day next week. It's wake up, have some leftovers. Me, Frank, Rick. Rick's still a little reluctant, but we're all going to meet up.
Joe, too. Joe wants in.
Joe wants to watch.
Joe's coming. Bar for USA England.
Wow.
Right into PFL championships.
By the way, you can't just like show up to any bar. I watched. I think it was 2000. Which one was it? 02 or 06? Probably 06. I watched a U.S. World Cup game at a bar in Lower Manhattan, and it was insane. And they're way
you mean
more.
they'd be too busy?
Yeah.
I thought you were saying there was a bar that wouldn't be playing.
No. I mean, like you've got to. I feel like you've got to make reservations or something.
It's Black Friday. They're all busy shopping. We'll be fine.
All right. Good luck. With that.
Real quick though, before we move on, like if you were living in Canada, could you bet on any of this?
Yeah. They've got a
Okay.
ton. Yeah.
All right.
There's equivalents, and some in Ontario it's legal, not in Quebec, but there's equivalents. all
Got
over
it.
the place.
Thanks.
God, I can't wait. JD Ariel, greetings from Calgary, home of the worst pay-per-view of all time, UFC 149. Yes, I don't know if it was the worst to be honest, but certainly up there with Alex Pereira making short work. And by the way, Mazel Tov, Alex Pereira getting his brown belt yesterday, so that should shut up the haters. Making short work of the middleweight division. Where does this rank under most impressive MMA debut campaigns? Debuting 1 year ago and holding the strap already is impressive, regardless of if he was fast-tracked or not. Essentially the quickest path to the belt for a newcomer. Brock comes to mind, but I'm sure I'm forgetting some others. Also, when will the UFC return to the Great White North? Definitely in 2023. Keep up the fantastic work. As a fellow broadcaster, you are a true inspiration to follow. Love the shows. Thank you so much, JD. I mean, it's up there. Obviously, I was going to say Brock. Ronda's up there. Ronda did have the Strikeforce belt, but she was put in that title fight. Do we count the likes of Dom Cruz and Jose Aldo? Maybe not, because they were WEC champs. Brock is probably the closest one to it. Carlo won the belt, but that was Ultimate Fighter. Anderson fought Chris Lieben and then was put into a title fight way back in the day. Rich Franklin. So he's up there. Did you hear that?
It's very lovely. Do you need gum or anything?
No, why gum? I was cracking my jaw.
No.
Weird. But no, it's incredibly impressive. Of course, you must bring up the fact that if Izzy wasn't champ, this probably doesn't happen. But hey, he beat the guys that they put in front of him. Them's the breaks. God bless. Newman. Hello, Ariel. Hello, Newman. After the Dustin Poirier and Michael Chandler fight, I saw Dustin shared an Instagram story from Thiago Alves, which showed Dustin's hands being wrapped in the locker room before the fight. There was no tape or padding over Dustin's knuckles. That's true, bare knuckle. And Alves' caption said Dustin was going bare knuckle for the fight. I've never seen this before. Some fighters usually have some padding over their knuckles under the gloves. Is this common in MMA? Rory McDonald and Gunnar Nelson at times didn't even wrap their hands. How about that? Crazy people. So yes, it has happened before. Yeah, and he brings this up. I love this. Can we get a picture of this? We don't have it, but Dustin Poirier was wearing the war hat, and if you type in Marvin Hagler war hat, it's a very famous hat that Marvin Hagler wore. He went to the press conference, and they had tape over it, black tape over it, and I was then wondering what it was, and then I saw him do some media before, and it says war on it. It's a red hat with war, and this was paying homage to the great, marvelous Marvin Hagler. Is it possible to get like a side-by-side pic of that for the interview with Dustin?
Yes.
If you just type in Hagler Warhead, it will pop up. Newman writes, I think Dustin showing up in the Marvin Hagler war hat was an indicator of his violent intentions. I loved it. Perhaps you can ask him during today's interview. I shall. Great question. How about Alex Pereira's walkout? I love the way he walks out in rhythm to that tribal beat while holding his fists in fighting position. When the bow and arrow shot with the scream at the end and he finished it off by throwing the vicious combo, terrifying stuff. He is a terrifying guy, like almost like soulless, right? He's just unflappable. Is Moicano's post-fight interview the current frontrunner for Promo of the Year? Obviously it is, but I hate when the I feel like the award shows, which of course we'll be doing in early January, are usually weighted towards November, December stuff, even October. And I feel like stuff that happens in January, February, March, first quarter often get forgotten about. But right now, top of my head, yeah, that was pretty great. But there have been some great ones this year. But it's definitely up there. Tremendous. And great to see his personality come out. Adriano asks, before my question, wanted to mention that I don't want to get into this crap.
That was the first.
Well, it's just nonsense. Okay, I started reading it, so I have to. Now people are going to wonder what it was. Before my question, wanted to mention that I feel for Laura Sanko this week. The drama of Megan spreading a nasty rumor after an incredible year that Laura has achieved. Then you got Jeff Molina coming out and badgering Megan about being lazy and an alcoholic, and it was quite sad to see, especially after it seems like Megan had a break in her post-fight career working with ESPN MMA. Not sure how far that goes now. Let me just say this. The whole thing was ugly. The whole thing was unnecessary, disappointing. Laura's doing an incredible job. No one should have their personal life talked about, and especially something that could be that damaging. True or not, I have no idea. Don't care. None of our business. Just silliness. And I even didn't, I understood what Jeff was trying to do. just nonsense. I'm not a fan of any of that. And both of them, both Megan and Laura, I know they were friends, have great things going on in their respective lives, working in media. No need for any of that. And I don't know how deep this goes, and who am I to talk about any of it? And honestly, I hate that it was even brought up here, to be honest. And I wish that I didn't have to even talk about it, but I don't want you to think that I'm skirting any issue here. Laura's an incredible person. And let me just say, I said this on Friday as well when we had her on our show. Laura, I've worked in media now. I'm no grizzled veteran, but I've been around, 2006, so 16 years. And I've had the opportunity to work with a lot of people on the broadcast side of things. And I will say this about broadcasters, both male and female. We are incredibly insecure. And there is a lot of ego involved, and there's a lot of politics involved, and there's a lot of backstabbing involved, and there's not a lot of teamwork involved, and there's not a lot of support and bringing people up and helping out your friends, your colleagues, your coworkers, your broadcast partners. There isn't a lot of that, believe it or not. There's a lot of shit talking. There's a lot of backstabbing. There's not a lot of support. There's not a lot of, people, there's not a lot of loyalty. And that's why, when I talk about my relationship with Chael and that story about him waiting for me in the car, my relationship with DC, those are really special people and special relationships. You'll never see me talking shit about any of them. Behind their back, too, those are friends, and those are really loyal people in my life. And I don't have the same relationship with Laura that I do with them, of course. But I will tell you this, Laura is a very, very, very rare breed. She is incredibly hardworking and is kind to everyone, doesn't put anyone down, doesn't make anyone feel bad, isn't mean to the production team, isn't a diva, isn't someone who thinks that she's better than everyone. Like, she is a great human being and deserves everything that she is getting. And hopefully we'll get bigger opportunities in 2023 to be in the booth, to call fight nights and whatnot, not just Contender Series. It's just unfortunate that she has to deal with any kind of hate, including, nasty stuff like that. So I just want you guys to know, like, Laura is one of the good ones. And I wouldn't be saying that if she wasn't. She is one of the good ones. And I have not had any, issues with Megan as well. I like Megan. I just haven't worked with her and don't really know her on that level. But I think she's doing great stuff for ESPN MMA, and had that interview with Izzy and CKB team. Just focus on yourself and try to be the best that you can be, and don't try to bring this stuff out there onto Twitter, because nothing good comes of it. Thanks for that, Adriano. Now on to my question. The commissioner coming in and changing the scorecard or tampering with it. What a crazy sight. Yes, it really was. Wanted to get your thoughts. And if you can remember something else that happened for the first time in the octagon that you were stunned by. I mean, there's been a ton of things. He also adds, hoping that Canada make it out of the group stage of the World Cup. GC, if you want a good sneaky bet, put Senegal to make the semis. Lewis adds, not so sure they could stand to play USA, England, or Wales in the knockout. Yeah, that was crazy. I mean, we've seen some crazy things. The bag of ice being spilt, that was nuts. But something like that was really weird. The problem is, even if they ultimately got it right, this is for the Karolina Kowalkiewicz fight, it's still going to feel weird because it looked like they were changing the scorecard. Now, we've seen the wrong scorecards being read. Remember Ian McCall versus Demetrius Johnson? That was, that was bizarre. Like, they announced it and then they said, like, oh, we messed it up. We got to go to a draw. Like, the whole thing was very, very weird. So we've definitely seen some things. Now, was this a case of bad math, bad addition? I don't know. But the unfortunate thing is, even if Karolina was the rightful winner, it still feels weird because it looks like they were changing it to get to her being the winner. It was all playing out in front of us. So damned if they do, damned if they don't. Hut, shout out to the MMA Hour crew. Thank you for what you do. Question for GC or anyone. I'm a big fan of Michael Chandler, but watching him fight is like being on a roller coaster of emotions. The back and forth is absolutely amazing and terrifying at the same time. So my question is it better for my health to avoid betting on Michael Chandler fights? Is he not one of the most reckless, for better or worse, fighters in recent memory to bet on?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, if you're going to place a money line wager on Michael Chandler, it's just kind of hold on to the seat of your pants.
You know what's the crazy thing about it? He wasn't always this guy.
At all.
Yeah, like like in Bellator, he had great fights, great performances, but he wasn't close your eyes and just, strap onto your seatbelt because at the end of this ride, he's going to be bloodied, beat up, bruised, black eye. He wasn't that guy. And all of a sudden coming to the UFC, he is, could you imagine, by the way, a Michael Chandler, Conor McGregor fight in July or something like that? Considering Chandler has now reached a point where the wins and losses, I think, don't really matter for him. He got the title shot, didn't go his way, but he's just Mr., all action, always delivers, never disappoints. And I think he's supremely popular now. People really like him. Chandler versus Conor would be a gigantic fight, and a fight that I think really makes sense for both guys. That would be gigantic.
Sign me up for that. I think the build-up would be fantastic. I think the fight itself would be fantastic.
So basically, if you're a big Chandler fan, maybe avoid betting on him, just for your own health. Ricky, Ariel, another MSG card in the books. How would you rank all the events at the Mecca so far from best to worst? My personal list: 217 Bisping GSP, 205 McGregor Alvarez, 281 Adesanya Pereira, 44 BMF title, 68 Usman Colby 2, 230 DC Lewis. Also, what are some of your favorite iconic moments from all the events at the Garden? Of course, the standout moments are Conor becoming double champ, GSP's comeback title victory. Another highlight of mine is Kevin Lee head kicking Gregor Gillespie. Whatever happened to him? And what are some of the other highlights that go under the radar that you think people should remember? Well, first of all, I would put 205 first one, and it was historic. Conor, it was just a crazy scene to be at MSG for the first time. So I would put 205 first. I would put 217 second. That hour and a half stretch, Cody TJ, Rose, Bisping GSP, that was just insanity. So I would put 217 second, 281 third, Adesanya Pereira. Probably 244 fourth, Diaz Masvidal, 268, Usman Colby 2. And DC Lewis, obviously I was invested because DC my guy, but that was the weakest card by far. And they had to throw that one together on very short notice. Lewis won in October, and then they had to turn him at 229, and then they had to turn him around right away to fight for the belt because they had nothing else going on. I remember DC calling me after my Monday show at ESPN and being like, hey, they offered me this. Should I take it? I can't really move my hand. And he's like, yeah, I'm just going to take it because it's MSG and I'm going to get paid a lot. A lot of big moments. But to me, the 90-minute stretch of those three title fights, 217, might be the best 90 minutes in UFC history. Go back and look. Incredible stuff. Matmo, bonjour, Lord Ariel. With Yair Rodriguez versus Josh Emmett being solidified for UFC 284 in February, it once again leaves Arnold Allen on the back burner. And by the way, I saw some people questioning my Arnold Allen take. I even asked Arnold, could you have fought in February? And he said yes. So, valid. My question is, was this the right move? If not, and if you had control over the featherweight title picture, what would you have done differently? I'd like to have seen Arnold in there, but maybe it's for the best. Maybe they really wanted the title fight in February. You put Arnold in the UK, number one contender fight. He comes off like a star, and then he fights for the belt later on. But you know what? Now he's going to have to fight twice. God dang. Arnold Allen's not going to get a title shot at least until he wins 12 in a row. Someone could get injured, so you never know. But you'd think the interim champ is going to fight Volk, right? Jeez Louise. That's depressing. I feel like it was the best move they could make in a messy division where the top three contenders all had valid claims to the title. The UFC seems to have gone with the two higher-ranked fighters. Arnold Allen will undoubtedly get a number one contender fight with Max Holloway next. I don't know if that's undoubtedly, but something big, hopefully. So I don't think it's a complete loss for him, as that will be a giant fight and help Arnold with gaining fans. Yeah, if he gets that fight. If not, maybe a zombie, maybe a winner of Bryce Ilya. Tough fight. If he fights in the UK and gets that hero's welcome, then maybe it's not all for naught. Thanks as always for being the number one show in combat sports. Wow, thanks. John and HB, hola Ariel. Is this a must-win for Derek Lewis this weekend? I have that nervous feeling for him that I had with Dom Reyes last weekend. Sad face emoji. Golly. Who's the favorite right now, GC?
Spivak.
Dang.
Around like minus 200.
Really?
Yeah.
Sheesh. By the way, anything on Invicta tonight or Invicta Wednesday?
Yeah, I'm actually tape studying back here right now, trying to get some last second plays in.
Perfect. I look forward to that breakdown later in the show. The Black Beast in a tough spot. He has lost 3 of his last 4. All stoppages. The last one was a quick one, Sergey Pavlovich. You hope that this isn't the beginning of the end. But yeah, I could see that. I don't know if it's exactly like Dom, but I get your point. And, we all love the Black Beast and hope for the best. Steven. Hey, Ariel, as a Liverpool supporter, I came to be a fan as a kid watching Michael Owen. Yes, number 10, when he left for Real Madrid and then Newcastle. By the way, shout out to Newcastle. Ending the break. Best record in 20 years. I mean, I'm all in. I'm watching everything. I've watched more Premier League soccer, etc., than NBA this year in the last few months. I know NBA season started in October, but you get the point. I was heartbroken, but not devastated. However, when he joined United, I couldn't stand the sight of him. In your opinion, and across all sports, who has been the worst traitor defector from one franchise to another? Also, what up, Frank? Steven.
Hello.
Wow. Lewis adds, to Steven's example, Michael Owen was rejected by Liverpool for a return, hence why he joined United. Context is important in the worst traitor defector discussion. Yeah. The first one that comes to mind is Johnny Damon going from the Red Sox to the Yankees. You guys got anything? Deion Sanders. Didn't Deion Sanders go from the Niners to the Cowboys in the 90s?
Didn't Favre go from the Packers to the Vikings?
To the Vikings, a bad one. Yeah, that was a bad one. Man.
Jordan, Bulls to the Wizards. Big R for the
No. I mean, has anyone been more vilified than when LeBron went to the Heat? Right?
No.
Now,
I think a lot of that has to do with how he did it.
Sure, but the Heat, and the Heat and Cavs weren't rivals, but I mean, burning the jerseys, that was a pretty big one. Durant going to the Warriors.
I was going to say Durant to the Warriors was bad.
That might be it, right? Because they were actual rivals
for this day.
They were actual rivals. They battled in the playoffs. That might be the one. Yeah.
3-1 lead the year before.
Yeah, that might be the one.
Yeah, I think KD's the one. I mean, he still gets crap for it today.
People were mad at Bryce Harper for leaving the Nationals to go to the Phillies, but they kind of got over that once the Nationals won the World Series. Football. I thought it was really weird when Thurman Thomas went to the Dolphins, but he was pretty irrelevant at that point. He was older.
When Ilya Kovalchuk went from the Thrashers to the Devils.
It's a great call. Shout out to the Devils. Shout out to the Devils. They've won 10 in a row.
Shout out to the Devils. I'm about to be a Jersey boy. I'm all in on my Devs.
Oh, yeah. My cousin works for them. Could hook you up. Beat the Canadians last night. When are you going to Jersey?
Next month.
Wow. Ooh, New York Rick adds this. Carlos Boozer. That is true. He did. He promised a nice blind man owner, Gordon Gund. He's coming back to Cleveland only to bolt to the Jazz. Not same. That was pretty shitty. Kyrie telling the Celtics fans that he was going to re-sign and then bolting. That was pretty shitty. There's got to be some old school ones too. But I think KD might have been the worst. Big Money, Ariel, I have a quick request for you and the gang. Please rank these epic MMA losing streaks from just a bump in the road to it's getting uncomfortable. Donald Cerrone, Tony Ferguson, Sam Alvey, Dom Reyes, Parlay Pals. Oh, what?
Wow.
That's messed up, bro.
I'm offended.
I mean, we're at the Sam Alvey level right now, aren't we? 8 in a row? Or is it 7 in a row? No,
Wow.
It's 8 in a row. It's 8 in a row. That's how bad it is. We're having trouble remembering how many in a row.
By the way, I would put BJ Penn's losing streak up there. Gilbert Melendez had a pretty bad one at the end. Frankie to a degree. In all seriousness, though, thank you and the boys in the back for another classic episode on Monday that really kept the buzz of 281 going. It was truly special to get Izzy's thoughts on the loss, fighting life, etc. after such a big moment. What a mensch. I agree. I mean, I don't know if you guys truly appreciate just how unique it was. I had a fighter named Jesse Ronson say, you'd be surprised how many fighters would want to come on after a loss. And I wanted to reply, but I was like, what's the point? First of all, I mean, I've been doing this for 16 years. Trust me, the guys fighting at the very, very top aren't that keen to come on after a loss, let alone in studio. It's never happened before. Yes, I know we're not in Las Vegas, so, there's only one New York event a year, and it's only been for 6 years. But that was very, 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 very unique. So, much respect. Hope the Pals bounce back and get a W ASAP. Thank you. Same goes for Buffalo and our precious Bills. Thank you.
Oof.
I feel like, can I just put it out there? I feel like Frank is actually rooting against the Bills.
No way.
I actually think you take pleasure in them.
Yes.
Right?
Wait, you get that same impression?
We have a text thread. Only thing that is said on Sunday is once the game is completely done, and
there was a couple dots in there.
I am just completely crushed. Friend, Frank, coworker, colleague sends 3 dots. Like, what are you trying to say? You want to comment? Or to me, it's like, It's sort of like a
Can I be completely honest on Sunday?
Yeah.
So getting ready to watch the game, I actually fall asleep before the game. I wake up, I tell my wife, I'm like, hey, go ahead and watch the game without me. I'm sorry. I wake up in the fourth quarter, and I'm like, everything looks great. She's excited, I'm excited, and the whole thing just starts to turn around, and it was pretty upsetting.
What does Bills stand for, Frank? Tell me what you told me.
When I lived in Texas,
wow,
preseason.
No way.
They used to call it, boy, I love losing Super Bowls.
Wow.
It's not like I created that.
Can I say something? I feel like, I'm going to go deep here. So just, you told me that your wife's family really loves the Bills, right?
Right.
I think that there's a little bit of animosity there, and you want them to be upset.
Oh man, that's so messed up.
Is there anyone worse that they act like they're like cheering on either your team or your bets or something, but deep down you can kind of get that sense they're cheering against them?
Yes.
I have the jersey.
So
you didn't buy
my
it.
wife bought that for
me.
But I wore it. All right.
I mean, we all wear things that,
Yeah,
we're watching the game on Sunday, Connor, so we got this. It's fine.
Can you just acknowledge the fact that you actually are happier when they lose than when they win?
That is not true. No, I'm actually
you secretly rooting against them.
I have to admit that this is probably the first full season that I have been paying attention and have been moved by the games and this sort of. It doesn't feel good when we've lost 2 in a row. I'll say that.
You're really going to say we?
I mean, it doesn't feel good when the Bills have lost 2 in a row.
I can't wait till he texts his anti-Bills group chat, but he accidentally texts ours.
They're actually blowing up my phone right
Who's
now.
in that? Joe and Alex?
No. Joe admits that the Pats aren't doing so well.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Frank is a Pats fan, to be honest.
This is silly.
And he's just moonlighting just to be included in the chat. Sonny, yo, Ariel, thanks as always for everything you do. As 2022 comes to a close, where do you stack it up against the other big MMA years? Also, do you have any fun ideas for the upcoming 30th anniversary of the UFC? Love the new question time, by the way. Your homie, Sonny. I hope the UFC makes a big deal out of their 30th anniversary. Bring back, it would be cool, like, bring back, I don't know, the winners of the first 10 UFCs, or bring back every imagine they bring back every living UFC champion. It probably isn't that many. How many do you think it is? 40, 50? Bring them all back. Have a huge ceremony for them. Do something big. Honor your history. Honor your past. 20th anniversary, 25th anniversary was like, let's do it up. One idea that I brought up last year, UFC 30, whatever you want to call it, name the 30 greatest fighters in UFC history, like the NBA did with their 75th anniversary. Wouldn't that be fun? And then you bring those guys out, or gals together, guys, gals. I would love that. 2022 has been a solid year. Not sure if it's like one of the great. I feel like it's been pretty good. A lot of surprises, upsets. I still think 2016 is the greatest year ever, but it's been solid. One more pay-per-view to go. But I would love to see them do it up for the 30th anniversary. Bring in all the big dogs. Rank them. Let's have some fun. Abe, hello, my friend. All defeats are costly, but can you think of a result that has had bigger implications for one's career/life than those 2 judges scoring the fight wrongly to Jones over Reyes? Crazy, right? What happened after that fight? Everything's changed for him. If Reyes wins, absolute superstardom, the guy to beat the GOAT, they probably try to rematch it, right? But then, of course, the pandemic hit, so who knows what happens. If he loses, then a possible trilogy after the rematch. Instead, he's on a 4-fight skid, may even be contemplating his career. Any other matches you could think of having bigger implications? I mean, Jan's knee to Aljo, right? P.S. Thank you for those 35 minutes with DC. It was too short. I could have watched you guys hobnobbing for hours. Had a blast. Much love, your boy Bay. I know. It was too short. Kind of feels like we fumbled it. Like we waited all that time for a 35-minute drive-by. Come on, DC. And then he tells me he was super early to his next appointment. But yeah, I mean, Jan Aljo, even Jones Smith still maintained Smith should have taken the belt. Who else? I mean, it's hard when you ask me to rack my brain. There's so much in there. The ranking ones are tough. Make a note of that, Lewis. The rank, name your top 5 this, your top 3 that. It's tough, what do you think I am? Some kind of circus monkey?
Wait a minute.
What?
I thought you could do anything.
Yeah. David, hello, Ariel. Who do you think is next for Erin Blanchfield? I'd love to see her against Casey O'Neill or someone like that. Or someone like Viviane Araújo. Yeah, I mean, that'd be tough for O'Neill to come back against Erin Blanchfield. Hopefully O'Neill will be good enough to fight on the Perth card. Let me see flyweight here. Blanchfield is 10. Jennifer Maia? That'd be a fun one. Oh, wait, isn't Jennifer Maia fighting this weekend? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lauren Murphy? Maybe 2. Caitlin Chukagian? Tough one. Andrea Lee? Someone like that. Ahmad, salam alaikum, Ariel. Wa alaikum salam. Loved seeing you with Schultz. My question is, how different it is being interviewed rather than being the interviewer? And did you feel some sort of freedom in that role since you weren't the one directing the flow of the conversation? Much love to you guys. P.S. You missed the perfect chance to say straight up stand up. I think a lot of people would be surprised. I mean, I've been interviewed plenty of times before, but there are certain shows that you go on, Schultz, one of them, McAfee, another one, where you could just, Lebitard, where I can like really show that's actually more the true me than the one you see sitting here. Here I have to be very proper. Frank always tells me before the show, like, stay straight, straight and narrow, don't go crazy.
Get that smudge out of your glasses.
Yeah, smudge out of the glasses. Don't smoke a cigar, all these things. But no, great studio, great group of guys. And my favorite thing to do when I go on Schultz's show is to drop the BS lines and see how uncomfortable, because like comedians, when they're around other comedians, they love to laugh at each other's jokes, even when they're not funny. It's like this thing that they do to prop each other up. And I respect it and I appreciate it. I'm just dropping zingers left and right, like true comedy. And they have to no sell me because, they're being loyal to their friend. You notice that? Like I'm out comedian in, what is it? I'm out comedying. I'm out funnying the funny people. Right? Can I get an amen?
Yeah, sure, man. Amen.
I guess you don't agree. All right, let's put a pin on the questions. 3 left. We'll do it in a bit. In a moment, though, we're going to be joined in studio. We're going to get into the guests now. Still to come, of course, Dustin Poirier, Renato Moicano in about 27 minutes time, Poirier in about an hour's time, less than an hour. Also, Yair Rodriguez still to come. But very excited to be joined in studio by our first guest, who has one of the most impressive client rosters in MMA. If you missed it at the top, I mentioned that he represents over 300 MMA fighters, which is just unbelievable. He's the head man over at Iridium Sports Management. And I mean, they're everywhere. Sports agency, I want to get that right. Iridium Sports Agency, excuse me. Names like Brandon Moreno, Brandon Royval, Marlon Vera, Adrian Yanez, Korean Zombie. I'm just going through the list here. I mean, there's just so many names. Jalen Turner, very high on him. Chaos Williams. Lupi Godinez, so many big names, and it's a very impressive thing. And they've got some massive fights coming up. Of course, the big Brandon Moreno, Davison Figueiredo, 4th fight. Let's say hello to our first guest, Jason House, who's kind enough to join us in studio. He was here on Monday with his clients. Now he's in the hot seat. Hello, Jason. How are you, my friend?
Good. How are you?
Good to have you in. I appreciate it.
It's an honor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a seat, my friend.
Yeah.
This is great. You are a very busy man. I was actually surprised you were still here.
Yeah, my wife and I, we always take a few extra days in New York. It's her favorite place. So we hang out, go eat at our favorite spots, see a show.
And did you see a show?
Yeah. It was
Which
good.
one?
We saw Moulin Rouge this time. It was actually really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
And where's home for you guys? Las Vegas?
Now it is, yeah.
And it used to be California.
Correct.
Why Las Vegas? Did you just feel like for the business it was better to be closer to the headquarters?
When the pandemic hit, it really kind of showed me the advantages of being in Las Vegas because we were there for like 2 straight months during that one period when they were doing all the Apex shows. And so I remember one night my wife just looked at me and she said, "Man, this is the right move." And I said, "Yeah, we need to do this." And so we sold our home in Cali and bought one in Vegas.
And are you happy with it?
I love it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I was going over the roster, and I've said this on the show before. You employ one of my favorite people in MMA, the great Ed Cap. I mean, this guy is unbelievable at his job. He's your PR guy?
Yes.
Is that accurate? I don't want to sell him short. One of your fighters will win a fight. I will get a text within literally 10 seconds. Like, do you want him on the show? I'm like, you don't even know if he's available, but he's just relentless, and I love it. He sent me your roster. You represent over 300 UFC MMA athletes, correct?
Correct.
How is that possible? How do you have the mental capacity, the time, the energy? And I know you have other people who work for Iridium as well. But 300 is a massive number. Dare I say probably the biggest number in the sport?
Probably.
I don't see anyone coming close to that. How is that possible?
We've done a good job of growing horizontally as we're growing vertically. Okay. And we have a great staff here at the agency. Ed just does the PR, and Jacob's handling the marketing with a few other marketing specialists, and Jeremy and Lance and Joe, which kind of really allows us to free up our time, if that makes sense. We have quite a few guys to handle that load.
300 though. Seems like a lot. How many in the UFC would you say off the top of your head, like of that 300?
I think it's like 110, 115.
Wow. That is, and is there a number that you're like, all right, we can't surpass this? I can't get to 400. I can't get to 500.
It really depends on what acquisitions we decide to make this year. If we, merge with other agencies or we partner with other agents, I think that really will determine that. A lot of our growth has been, partnering with other agents. So that's why it may seem like a lot as a number, but then when you think about it, we're bringing in the infrastructure to sustain that model.
And so are you considering partnering with more agents?
Always.
Always?
Always.
How is the business of MMA right now?
I think it's great.
Is it great?
Yeah.
Why is it great?
I think it's bigger than it's ever been. I think the ESPN platform is doing really well for the UFC. I think PFL is doing amazing, and Bellator is doing good on Showtime. ONE FC is coming to Amazon Prime, which is pretty cool to see. Yeah. So I think that it's a good time. I think the Fight Pass gives a lot of regional shows the opportunity for MMA, so that makes it really good.
So your history in the sport, it's been going back well over a decade, right? Yeah. And actually, in doing a little bit of research on you, a name popped up that I had not heard of in quite some time. A guy that I used to be quite close with, Ken Pavia.
Yes.
The new fans watching, the ESPN fans, they don't know Ken Pavia. Yeah. But the OGs know Ken Pavia. Yeah. So he's the reason why you got into this?
Yes, he actually spoke to my law school. This
is Ken Pavia, former MMA manager himself. Yeah.
Yes, he came to my law school the last semester of my last year in law school.
What school?
Whittier Law School in Costa Mesa, in Orange County, California. And I remember at the time being really torn on what I want to do with my life. Private sector didn't really fulfill me. The public sector wasn't doing it either. So when Ken came, it was kind of a godsend. I was like, yes, I want to do that.
Were you an MMA fan?
Yes, I was already, I think like 3 or 4 months prior, I'd gone to the BJ Penn Sean Sher card in Las Vegas. Yep. I was training jiu-jitsu with Jiva Santana at Team Oyama. So I was already entrenched in the sport. So when he came and, I must have called him 4 or 5 straight days in a row, like, hey, I intern for you? Can I do anything? And, within 2 weeks later, or a few weeks later, I was at a UFC event with him working and
So you were working for MMA agents?
Yes.
And how long was that for?
Till I graduated law school that following May. Then I decided to go on my own.
Okay, and what was the kind of stuff that he was having you do in those early days?
Everything.
Everything.
He was just throwing me in the fire, like Anthony Johnson, rest in peace.
I saw your post about it.
Anthony really resonates to me because he was one of the first people in the sport to really be kind to me and make me feel that I could do this. That weekend, I think it was UFC 92. Ken had to run an errand. He said, "Hey, will you stay here with Anthony Johnson? Make sure he's good. Stay here at this after party."
Because he repped him.
Because he repped him at the time.
Yeah.
And Anthony was just, I was so nervous, Ariel. I had no business being there. You're talking, this is day 8 on the job.
Wow.
I don't know anything. And Anthony made me feel so at home. He asked me a lot of questions about myself and really gave me some good advice on how to handle athletes and clients and things that he really appreciated that Ken did that I should remember to do for my clients. And I'll just never forget it. Like, he really, if there's ever a moment you're like, man, this is what I'm supposed to do, I felt like it was in that moment.
So you realize, all right, this is where I want to be. These are the people I want to work with. But you also are a certified NFL agent too.
Correct.
When did that happen?
So in 2016, one of the marketing groups that I was working with, they started helping out NFL athletes. And they're like, "Hey, Jay, you should get into this. I think you'd be really good at it." So I took the test.
How tough is the test, by the way?
It was actually really hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it about the NFL?
That and a lot of salary numbers. It's a lot of math. It's a lot of law. It's a lot together.
Okay.
It's open book, but it's just so much that you're trying to, it's almost like trying to find everything within their little Bible of NFLPA management.
Okay, so you take the test.
I take the test, pass, start working with football players, and then the Contender Series starts in 2017. And we had a lot of initial success. Our agency's always been a grassroots of building athletes on the regional scene and getting them to the UFC. Then 2018 came and it grew even more. And then it became a point where I realized, man, do I want to fight for a market share in the NFL, maybe be a jack of all trades, master of none? Or do I stick with my passion, my calling, and go all in on MMA? And we decided to do MMA.
Okay. And so up until that point, at that point, your Iridium is off and running. When do you actually start Iridium? When does that launch?
So I graduated law school, I think like May 24th of 2009. I formed it August 20th of 2009.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're only with Ken for like a few
7 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who was your first client?
My first client was LaRon Wilson. He was a heavyweight.
Okay.
He actually went to the same college that I went to. We had the same coach, and my coach put me in contact with him.
He wasn't a UFC fighter, correct?
No.
Who was your first UFC guy?
Ruben Duran.
Okay, wow.
Yeah.
And so now you've been doing it 13 or so years.
Yeah.
And that was something I wanted to ask you about because it does feel, and maybe there've been instances here or there, but like you're not the type of manager that is going to try to get guys who are rep by other guys. Like you're trying to get the guys coming up through the regional scene, LFA, build them up. Why that route as opposed to, oh, this dude's a big guy, let me try to, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like try to recruit him. And why do you go the former route?
I really enjoy the process. I think the reason we've been able to sustain the growth of our agency and the reason why we have so many clients is because we really are process oriented. And I think if you just focus on the process, the results take care of themselves. And I feel like, I was thinking the other day, like Bobby Green, like I was with him in a lot of his earlier fights in King of the Cage and stuff. And those are some of the best memories of my life, Errol.
Really?
Being on a local show with the fighter, going through those struggles of opponent changes and weight misses and travel and maybe not the best hotels and building them up and then getting that phone call. I just feel like if you're there with them every step of the journey, one, it's more meaningful, but two, that relationship that you build with them is just that much stronger, right? Because you've been there every step of the way with them. And so it's just how we started and it's how we've continued to be.
You mentioned the NFL process to get certified. Like, you don't pass that test. Like I can't be an NFL agent. I have to pass the test, right?
Correct.
I could be an MMA manager today.
Correct.
Right? Would you like to see a system like that in place so that, some random dude off the street can't just all of a sudden come in and poach one of your clients?
Definitely. I would love to see something like that. There's a lot of good managers in this business that really love and care for their athletes. And there are some managers, like you said, anyone can go hang a shingle up and say, hey, I'm a manager now. And maybe they don't have the proper qualifications. And the issue with our sport is that a fighter's career is so short, right? Like you can't afford to go 2 or 3 years in the wrong direction, right? Like you really have to make sure you start your career in the right direction and go that way. It's very hard to get second and third chances in this business.
How did you develop, one thing I always hear about you is you have a very good relationship with the UFC brass. Some managers don't, some do. but I always hear that you're, in very good standing with them. There's a science to that as well, right? That could be a tricky dance. Sometimes they like managers, sometimes they don't.
Yeah.
How did you develop that good relationship? And in particular, I think it's with Sean and Mick, the matchmakers, but it seems like everyone at the UFC has a lot of respect for you. How did that happen?
Really, I just treat it like my marriage, right? I keep those discussions behind closed doors. I think one of the things that I learned on the football side was that anytime a negotiation went public, it didn't really end well, right? Ego gets involved, people are upset, things were said publicly. I've always tried to keep things behind closed doors, and that's not to say I don't get into it with Mick or Sean or Hunter or any of them, but I think if we keep it in a professional manner and keep it behind closed doors, it always maintains that relationship, because what you always have to keep in mind, this is the infinite game, right? This is a long-lasting relationship. That's probably a 20, 30, 40-year relationship for me, right? And so I have to treat it with that respect and care in every negotiation.
During the pandemic, there were guys falling out, come in, last minute, 3 days. How difficult was that, especially the early days? Because I know you would have sometimes guys like who would just come to Las Vegas and wait, right?
Yeah.
Just thinking, which was a brilliant move because things were, going crazy. But that must have been incredibly stressful as well. How difficult was it?
It was one of the best running gun times of my life.
Really?
We ended up getting like a 3-story home in Vegas, and we were flying out clients to stay with us.
Wow.
If there was 4 or 5, say 45ers on a card, and I had a 45,000, I'd bring them in and have them there ready to go. And I think, we had a lot of success during that time period, and we gave a lot of fighters opportunities that maybe they wouldn't have gotten if COVID had not happened. I think one that stands out to me that I think is one of the best stories in MMA is Julian Erosa. I mean, who gets a third shot in the UFC? And he was riding his bike to and from the gym, 20-odd miles. He was telling me he was making weight every Friday. And I remember he was the first person that took me out to eat when I moved to Vegas. I remember going home to my wife scared, like, I don't know what I'm going to do. Bellator wasn't doing events at the time. PFL had canceled their season. Would Sean really give him a third shot?
Right.
And then 1 week, all the stars aligned, right? First guy's out, second guy's out. Man, I got Julian Erosa in town ready to go. He comes in, has an amazing fight. Now he's, 5-6-1 on this run? I mean, it's been so impressive. And so...
How does it work? Like, are you keeping tabs on all the news and have people telling you stuff, and you're calling the matchmakers and say like, yo, I got a guy who's here who can make weight? Or are they calling you like, yo, Jason, we've got a guy who just fell out, COVID, whatever. Yeah. Who do you have that's available? How does that work?
It goes both ways. We have, one of the things about MMA, it's a very public sport, right? These public gyms, you have access, you see, oh, there's an injury, there's this. So I try to always have the early lead on what is going on. And then, obviously Sean and Mick have seen that we're very reliable and always get the medicals and travel and everything done on time. And they'll call me and say, hey, we have an opening. Who do you have that's available? And so we always just try to keep our guys on deck, ready to go.
And so how many, like now it's a little weird with the Apex, but it's starting to open up a little more. How many events do you think you're going to a year, and how often are you traveling? Because I know you were just in Brazil.
Yeah.
Was that last week?
Last week.
You're here in New York. How often are you actually traveling?
Every week.
Every week?
Yeah.
Do you have kids?
No, not yet.
Do you want to have kids?
Yeah, I do.
Are you trying to get it out of your system now? Because at some point you're going to have to slow down, because you're probably going to have to slow down unless you're just one of those crazy people who,
You are asking the $1 million question, Ariel. And the truth is, like, I tell my wife, I'll bring the kid with me. And I'll,
so you have no plans of slowing
down. Let him explore the world and show him a different side of life. I'm just getting started.
Okay.
I'll never forget, I think it was like 2018 or 2019, Coach Safe pulled me aside and he said, you know what, Jason, you're doing really good. You had a really good year this year. But let me tell you something. If you really want to leave your mark here, you have to do it like 10, 12 years, like a Dan Gable, like a John Wood, and like a Kale Sanderson. And it really opened my eyes to what he was saying. And I always thank him for that, because it's the truth. I need to play the infinite game and leave a legacy here for these guys.
Wow. Okay. So even with your, man, I don't know. How old are you?
38.
Okay. So I'm not that much older. I get tired after like one trip. I need like a 2-month break after a trip. And you're going from Brazil to New York.
You've been a trailblazer, though, Ariel. I remember one thing I really respect about you was your early days, and people don't tend to remember that. You were everywhere. You were hustling, and you were really building your brand. And you deserve everything you have now.
Thank you. And that's why I'm exhausted now.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you have the ability now where it's an honor for us to come on your show, right? And you don't have to do those things. And, but plus too, it's just hard. It's like every week is someone's moment, right? Every week, someone's in a different, chapter of their career. Like watching Chris Gutierrez get that win this weekend, I wouldn't have missed that for the world. Right? I know how much that young man has been through. I know how much growth he's had over the last 2 years. I mean, even I remember downstairs when he came on the show, I was like, dude, I cannot believe I'm going to Arrow Hawani.
Oh,
like if you'd have told me, he said, if you'd have told me this 5 years ago, I would have thought you're out of your mind. And so you never want to miss those moments. You want to be there for all of them. You know, Montel Jackson, like, we've been with him forever. Claudio Puelles, everyone that fought on that card. So Vaughn Juarez, we always want to be there for him and share those moments.
Do you feel guilty if you miss one? Because I'm sure some of these guys are like, yo, I saw you last week. And I know you don't probably, do you miss any, by the way?
One I missed was New Zealand of 2020. I had gotten what we believed to be as COVID the week before the world shut down. And I missed Jalen Turner and Tyson Nam's fight. And it irked me because I've been with Jalen since his very first pro fight. Right. And it killed me.
That's the only one you missed?
And that's only because I like my wife literally took me to the ER that night. Like it was literally like, you have to go. You're too sick. Like I could barely breathe. And I just couldn't get it going.
You haven't missed another fight of any of your clients?
Not in like 3 or 4 years. I mean, like I've gone to every UFC event, I think the last 3 or 4 years.
Even early, like what were you doing early days pandemic? Because they didn't let people, or were they letting managers go to those events, the Apex events?
Well, then like I said, I just got a house right next door to the Apex and I'd be right there. And you know what I mean?
That is amazing.
You know what I mean? I'd be delivering them food or doing grocery runs or just contributing however I can contribute. There's always something for you to do. You just have to find where the need is.
Wow. And so when you finally see a guy like Brandon Moreno, like reach the mountaintop, was he your first champ?
He was in the UFC, yes.
Yeah, in the UFC. What was that feeling like? Can you even describe that?
Oh man, that's probably one of the best nights of my life. Listen, I signed Brandon because of the good human he was. I had no idea where it was going to go, where it was going to take us, because at the time the flyweight division was being cut, right?
Right.
So I did it because he was my wife's favorite fighter that we didn't represent. You know, we've always loved him, and this journey's been surreal. It's been almost storybook, and you know, I'm so excited for this fourth fight with Figueiredo. I think you can agree with this. Like you need that dance partner. If you want to leave a legacy in the sport, you need that dance partner. And people are like, oh, do you like Figueiredo? I'm like, dude, I love them. I hope he's making a ton of money. I hope we're making a ton of money. And I hope these guys continue to make magic in the cage, because I think they needed each other for both their legacies. It's like Ali Frazier, right, of the flyweight division. These guys have really done a good job of that.
What was the vibe like in Brazil when you were there last week? Yeah.
Awesome. I mean, you can tell they're itching to have an event there, and you know, everyone's excited to see this fourth one go down. And you know, Rio is a mecca of sorts of MMA, of martial arts and jiu-jitsu, so it's great to be back down there.
So jealous you went to BB Sukos. Maybe you posted the picture, and I was like, people don't realize how much better it is over there. It's like a different food, right?
Brandon was like, he was like, Jason, you're getting me too excited, because I kept telling him, we got to go to BB. I was asking, how far is BB from here? Yeah. And then he was like, okay, this is actually really amazing. And I was like, I told you, right?
He never had it?
No.
Oh my God.
He's never had like true Brazilian. So I said, man, if we brought BB to America, it'd be.
Oh my God, yes.
changer.
Can you do that?
I'd love to.
Is that your next?
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you don't have a lot of time on your hands, but I would love that. And I think it would do well in Las Vegas, considering all the fighters that are there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, there's like a short list of guys that I truly love in this sport. I have no problem saying that Chito Vera is one of those guys. He's just the coolest. I want to be him when I grow up. Like, he's just so cool.
Yeah.
What do you think is next for him? Because he's kind of in this weird spot here where I feel like he can get.
He's in a great spot, and you know, I love to see a title in some way, shape, or form involved. Whether we fight Sterling next, or maybe we fight O'Malley for an interim title.
So it's all still up in the air right now.
It's all still up in the air. I think a lot of the questions that need to be answered is Cejudo coming back? If so, is he coming to bantamweight and fighting for that title? What Sterling's return time frame is? But Chito's ready to go. He's always ready.
What a huge star too! Like I saw that footage of him in Ecuador.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a gigantic. I mean, if they could ever go there, I don't know if there's a venue big enough.
It would be insane.
It would be insane.
Yeah.
How did you sign him?
And this is actually a funny story. So my partner Jeremy flew to Albuquerque. I think it was for an RFA back then, where Yuli Gomez was fighting on it. Our client Joby Sanchez picks us up in his car at the airport to take us to the hotel, and Chito's in the car because he's training at Jackson's for the developmental program. And I guess he had lost all of his clothes. Like his luggage got lost. He had no clothes. And so Chito had said something like, hey, like what would a manager do? And Jeremy kind of joked back, well, a manager would make sure he gets some new clothes, and kind of the relationship formed. And, he moved with me to come live with me when he came to America at first, in London, after the London card in 2016. And, we've been best friends ever since.
You have a lot of fighters who stay at your place, right? Yeah. What is that like? Because I feel like, your poor wife, she's almost like having to take care of these guys, I feel like. Because the fighters, they're super tough, but sometimes, they're kind of like children too, right? They don't really know how to be
a lot of people have said, like, don't get too attached to them. They'll burn you or they'll leave you. But I remember watching a documentary on Netflix where Doc Rivers said they told him the same things when he coaches. And he was saying, like, no, that he was going to love them and care for them and welcome them into his home as much as humanly possible. That way he has no regrets, right? He gave them everything he had. And that's kind of how I look at it. Like, my home is your home. You need a place to stay. You need a place to come get away to train or to visit the PI or whatever it may be. Like, I just believe in having an open door policy.
When you first started, the sponsorship game was completely different, right?
Yes.
Now it's, uniform, this and that. But I think with social media, it has also shifted a little bit, with Instagram and whatnot. How would you, like, is it in a good spot now? Or, like the early Fox days, like there was a period where I know guys were making more from sponsorships than their purse.
Yes.
Have we gotten back to that, or is there still more work to be done? How do you feel?
I think the marketing and sponsorship side is doing very well right now. A lot of social media activations have kind of picked up the pace on that, and a lot of brands seeing our sport for what it truly is now, a martial art, are starting to get more behind it, right? I think it's becoming more mainstream. As we're getting on these mainstream channels and platforms, it's constantly helping us to open those new doors. Obviously, those running gun days of the past were fun, right? You're selling the crotch logo or the butt or the front leg, and you're negotiating, and then you're going to the exact size. I mean, I actually I had a plotter and a printer. I used to print those shorts in the spare bedroom at my house.
No way.
Yes, I couldn't afford a printer at the time when I was coming up, so I'd make those shorts in my spare room. Yeah.
And the banners too.
The banners I had to outsource.
You had to outsource. Yeah. Those were fun days. Really, I miss those days.
Yeah.
You still get them a little bit in Bellator, but it's not quite the same.
Yeah.
One thing that I'm curious about this. How would you describe your relationship with other managers? Because I was trying to count off the top of my head. There's maybe like 10 good ones or 10 prominent ones, I should say, in MMA, give or take a few. And one thing that I feel like would do, like if you have a fight, let's say Cheeto is fighting Aljo, just for the sake of the conversation. What's wrong with like and maybe I'm wrong. Please educate me if I'm wrong. Like the manager's talking to each other, like, how much are you making? How much? Like, so we know what the market is, right? Because now everything is so secret.
Yeah.
Is that a good thing, or is it better that everyone kind of stays in their lane and you don't talk to the other managers? What's your philosophy on that?
Man, I look at competition as good. The Lakers need the Celtics. USC needs UCLA. Like I love it. They make me better, and I hope that I push them to new heights for themselves. Because in the day, the client wins, right? If the managers are up in their game, the athlete benefits from it. I work with a lot of managers in a very friendly manner. I think there's enough food on the table for everyone to eat. And again, it's about the greater good of the athlete, right? If someone calls me and says, "Hey, I'm working on this deal. What do you think about this, that?" I'll gladly, help them. Because I believe that's what we're here for, is to serve and give. I think managers are servants, and we need to remember that and make sure that we're putting the athlete first.
If a fighter called you up and was like, "Hey, I want you to represent me," is there a process that you go through to determine whether or not you actually want to bring him on board?
Yep.
What is that?
For me, I put character first before talent. When I was young, Errol, and I came in the game at 24, I would chase talent, and talent takes you places sometimes your character's not ready to go to. And I feel like I've had a lot of success betting on high character people. I think two good, perfect examples is Chito Vera and Brandon Moreno. Those aren't the best athletes in the world. They're not. But they're high character, high driven people, and look how far they've gotten.
Right.
And I think if you bet on character, you'll always be successful. And I think it's good to maintain a good culture in my group as well.
Wanted to ask you about a story that happened last year that came out regarding you and your father. I can understand this is a very personal story, and I understand it's still ongoing.
Yeah.
But it seemed like there was an issue between you guys, and it kind of jumped off the page because you're like such a clean cut, like like you hardly do interviews, for goodness sakes. And also hearing father is like, wow, what's going on here? What, if anything, could you tell us about that?
I mean, disagreements among families are always extremely difficult, especially when it involves business and especially when it involves a father and a son, right?
Right.
I'm grateful that things are going in the right direction, and I'm confident, the end of this year we'll have a resolution and be able to move forward in a good manner.
Are you and your dad on speaking? Are you in a good spot or?
Not right now.
Okay.
I think right now the attorneys need to kind of be the intermediaries in resolving the professional issues. And I think that will allow us to kind of maintain that open door for a personal relationship. I think we need to kind of exit ourselves from the business side of things for now.
But you think this will be resolved soon?
I do, yes.
And not something that will affect your career?
No.
Okay.
No.
Business as usual.
Yeah, even when it had come out, it had been going on for a while. Like, one thing I have is an innate ability to stay focused on the task at hand.
Right. And so now, I mean, you've got like massive fights coming up. It's almost like off the top of my head, excuse me for not like this weekend, how many clients do you have on the UFC card?
4.
4. Golly. Do you ever go through one without a client?
Not in a long time.
Really?
Yeah.
Man. And so will you be there?
Yes.
Wow. And then like after that, are you going to Orlando? Like you're going to everything?
Yes.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
And you don't get tired of any of this?
I mean, listen, I get tired of like traveling. It does wear in my body. I've had to hire people to really make sure that I'm taking care of my health first and foremost and make sure I'm on the up and up with everything. But again, the joy of being there, like being a small brick in someone's success and their foundation is to me is the greatest feeling. Like seeing these fighters make their walks, it's awesome. You know, like Vanessa Demopoulos fights this weekend. You know, what a story she has, right? I mean, to see her continue her career in the UFC is amazing. You know, everyone that I work with, I have a special bond with and a special, you know, part of their story that really resonates with me.
I talk a lot on the show about fighter pay. Yes. I'm a very pro fighter, as you can imagine. How do you feel about the state of fighter pay? Do you feel like it is fair? Am I completely wrong when I talk about some of these things, or do you think it can get better?
I think, you know, we all would like to make more money in this business, right? And I think fighter pay is increasing. Maybe not at the rate that people would like, but it is on the up and up. And I think that is, you know, the job as us as advocates for those athletes to keep pushing that marker and keep pushing that marker farther and farther and farther to push for growth. And again, I think you're right. You know, if managers communicate and can create open dialogue, it's only going to help the greater good of the athletes.
We had one of your clients, David Taylor, in studio. I asked him, you know, a scale of 1 to 10, 4. I thought he was going to give me a better number because earlier in the interview, he was like, I'm thinking about it. What did you think of that number? Because when I heard he signed with you, I was like, oh, this is imminent, right?
Yeah.
Why else? And I know Dave Martin signed Gable Steveson. So, you know, there could be, but was he no-selling me there? What do you think? And I don't want you to refute his number, but like, that would be a big freaking deal, right?
I feel like I'm going to get double-legged by David right now.
I don't need to put you on the hot seat.
Yeah,
but.
I felt like he was underselling that number a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's very interested.
And I would imagine every promotion.
I would think so.
Yeah.
I mean, listening to his interview with you, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's such a competitor, right? He's like, well, I've accomplished the goals I have. Now, he almost needs a new mountain to climb. Like, he's... You know, meeting him this weekend for the first time in person, because we've done a few Zooms and a few phone calls. Man, what a class act! What a guy! Like, you see what it takes to be an Olympic gold medalist. Like, you see him, you're like, wow, like that's impressive. His body of work.
I would love to see it happen. I would love to see a Cheeto title fight in 2023.
It will happen.
You think so?
Yeah.
You're guaranteeing it.
I just believe in Cheeto, man. I don't know what it is about it. In my heart of hearts, like I tell my wife every night, I was like, he's going to be a champion in 2023.
I feel it as well.
I know it. I've always, I like you, but I've always loved you a little bit more because you kind of saw in Cheeto what I think we saw early on, where a lot of people were always kind of, you know, are you sure? You know, and I'm like, man, he's so green. Like, he has such a high ceiling. And I think every fight you've seen that growth and that improvement. I mean, and he's got such a focus. Like, I texted him last Wednesday night, I was like, hey, where are you? Let's hang out. And he sent me a video of him running Central Park like at 10 p.m. at night. He said, winning a world title.
Wow.
And I thought, man, never misses, right? Like, he's always like...
He's a legend. I've gotten those texts before, him running texts.
Yeah.
Saying and I told him one time, like, I'm going to post this. I'm going to share this when you win the title.
Yeah.
I love everything about him. How nervous do you get, though? Because, like, you develop relationships. You know, when DC fought Stipe for the second time, I felt sick to my stomach.
I bet.
You have a much closer relationship with these guys. How are you not like throwing up before these fights?
I was telling David Taylor this and his wife because they asked me, and I said, hey, when you watch fights, it's intense. When you know that person, it takes it to the next level. Like, I get sick to my stomach. Like, when I wear my Whoop, it like records it like I just ran 6 miles. Like, it's like a 13.1 on it. And I'm like, my heart's racing. I'm sick. I mean, The answer to your question, Eric, I think when that feeling goes away, it's time for me to walk. I think you should only do things in life that matter that much. It should matter that much, right? Like, you should, I mean, someone that you represent is going out there and fighting another person. Like, you need to care that much.
Well, I love everything you're doing. I wish you continued success.
Thank
Great
you.
stuff.
Yeah.
And please give Ed a raise. I mean, the guy is relentless. He never sleeps. I don't even know where he lives. Where does he live?
In Canada. He's amazing.
In Canada.
He's
amazing. That's fellow Canadian.
There's the connection.
There's the kinship.
See?
No, I know. No, it's great. And the roster speaks for itself.
Thank
so
you.
continued success. Thank you for coming in. And good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
There he is, Jason House, head man over at Iridium Sports Agency, doing incredible things. Over 300 clients in the UFC, Bellator, PFL. Love the business side of the game. Love talking to new managers. Great conversation. We'll be joined by Ash Belcastro of AP Sports Management later in the show as well. For now, though, in a moment, we're going to be joined by our next guest. This man is on fire right now. Had a huge win over Brad Riddell on Saturday at Madison Square Garden. He's all over Twitter these days. I mean, he is really coming into his own and has developed very quickly into, well, I say quickly, but he's been around, but I feel like we're seeing a whole new side of him. I'm talking about Renato Moicano, the Renato Moicano. He's like the Rock out there. Incredible stuff on Saturday. Joining us now via the magic of Zoom. Hello, Renato. How are you, my friend?
Very good. Thank you for having me here, Ariel. Thank you so much.
Renato, where has this Moicano been? Where has this guy been? I feel like we're seeing a whole new side of you, and it's incredibly entertaining. And there's a part of me that wants to kind of ask you, like, why did you take so long to show us this side of you?
Because it took a long time to learn English, It was very hard for me to speak English at the beginning, but in last couple of years I have been trying to work on my English and like try to get better at it, So it's not perfect yet, but at least I can express myself the way I want,
Oh my gosh. Who taught you how to speak English?
Who taught me? Like I was trying to learn at the gym with my friends and other fighters, but in America Top Team we have so many Brazilians that is hard. So I start to play games like Call of Duty and all that stuff. So and I start to talk with people on the games, and I start to get like better in English. I don't know if it's better, but I get used to, So like I say, I know it's not perfect, but it's getting better.
Now on Saturday, after your big win over Brad Riddell, great performance. I mean, you delivered one of the great post-fight interviews of all time, certainly of this year. But the energy, the enthusiasm, you were so fired up. Why were you so fired up? Why were you like? I mean, it felt like you had something that you wanted to get off your chest. Like you had a big chip on your shoulder. Why is that?
Yeah, the things that I say, because like you say, I have been in UFC for fucking like almost 10 years or more. I don't even remember how long I have been in UFC, and I was never treated with respect. So I have to go over there, make statements and tell people how I feel. And I feel like that way I'm just angry at that, and I want to fuck everybody up. I want to fight everybody, and I want to show everybody how good I am. I think that's why I speak like that. But what makes funny is because my English is not great, so I think people just like it, and I don't care. I'm just gonna start to talk like that, and that's it.
By the way, for me, it wasn't funny. It was amazing. No. I loved it. I loved everything about it. I loved the fire. But let me ask you, you say you felt like you didn't get the respect that you deserve. From who? Who wasn't giving you respect?
Like, I think UFC, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know who made the rankings. But listen, I was number 7 in the featherweight rankings when I moved up to the lightweight. And I won the fight in the lightweight, and they removed me from the ranking. And I see people like McGregor and people like Ferguson, they lost like 4, or people even like Hooker that goes to the featherweight and come back to the lightweight, lost, and he's still in the rankings. You can check it out. I was number 7 after a win, and they didn't rank me up. So I feel, but this is my fault. This is my fault. It's not UFC fault. You know why? Because I didn't talk, because I didn't show myself. But nowadays, I'm going to do the opposite, and people going to know me. People going to know who I want to fight, and I'm going to show in my performance how good I am, because people on the gym, my coaches, they know how good I am. But I want to show the world.
Is there any part of you that is kind of bummed about the fact that, what's going on? Are you okay over there? What's happening?
Yeah, I'm trying to get that shit.
Oh, this motherfucker. What is going on?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah. Okay, is it good now?
Yeah, very good.
Okay. Is there a part of you that feels like, man, my fighting should speak for itself? I shouldn't have to speak so much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does this annoy you?
No. Oh. No, because now I understand the game. Because back in the day, I was very humble, because my coach taught me to be like that in Brazil. And like when you like 10 years ago, you cannot be like McGregor, or can be like these guys like Sugar Shane O'Malley. If you show up in a gym like that, they're gonna beat you in Brazil. They're gonna say, no, you can be like that. You cannot talk. So we as Brazilians were not able to talk and to be like cocky. I don't know how to say that.
That's exactly
like due respect. But this is just entertainment. People like to see that. So so now I start to beginning understand that, and it's all about the money. So I want as much as people watching my fights and want to follow my career. So I will be myself, and and I have to go over there and beat these guys. So it's a package. You have to be able to do everything.
Moicano wants money. You want money.
A lot of money, not only money, a lot of money, big money.
Are you underpaid right now?
I am comfortable, but I always want more. Even if they give me $1 million, I want more, because this is a hard job. Not everybody can do this job. I am putting everything on the line. So I have to have like big money, because one day I don't want to have to work, after my fight career. I don't want to have job. I want to do everything right now, get as much as money as possible. And after that, I can walk away, and live a good life with my family. So I don't feel underpaid right now, but I always want more, and way more, way more, way more. And I know I have to deliver performance to get money too. So please give me the tough guys, give me the ranked guys, and I'm gonna show you that I deserve the money.
You gained a lot of respect, I think, when you took that RDA fight on very short notice. I mean, 4 days notice, something crazy like that. It was an amazing scene. And you stepped up. Unfortunately, it didn't go your way. And I'm wondering, Renato, if you regret that. Do you regret taking... No, you don't.
Not at all. Not at all. I made the decision. They offered me the good money, and I took the opportunity. And this is show how good I am, because I was really literally in a fucking barbecue when they asked me. I was really on the fucking barbecue drinking. I was fucking high. And my manager said, man, get this fight. You're going to get good money. And I say, fuck that. Let's go. And the other day I was flying to fucking Nevada to fight one of the best guy in the world. And it doesn't matter, bro. Doesn't matter, because I almost knocked him out in the last, So this is show how good I am. Like I said before, imagine it with a full training camp. I would kill RDA. This is the truth, bro. Wow. I would kill him, bro.
And so I think they took care of you for that one. But you haven't fought since then. Like prior to Saturday, that was your last fight. Did you need some time off because of the fight?
Yes, because I had a broken bone on my face. Like he beat me. That's the truth. But he only beat me because I was not training, and I had a fight like 2 weeks before the fight with RDA. So it was a really complicated stuff. But now I feel I'm recovered. I had a great training camp, and I was trying to get to fight earlier, but they offered me Brad Riddell and Madison Square Garden. I could not refuse that. Madison Square Garden, New York, fucking temple of the fighting game. Yes. So I could not refuse, and I waited in November, to put on a show to everybody, and I think I did.
I feel like we need a big name. So right now you're at number 13. Yeah. You passed McGregor. You know that?
Yeah. Fuck McGregor, bro. He's done, bro. Now it's my time. McGregor, he did a lot for the sport, but right now he's done. That's the truth. But if he wants to get the smoke, he gonna be in trouble, because I will beat him. I will beat his ass, bro. You can be sure of that, bro.
If you had a dream fight, like if you could pick, if the UFC said, Renato, we love everything that you're doing, we're going to give you whoever you want. Who are you picking? Who's number one?
Fucking McGregor, of course. I want to fight him, bro. But I don't think he's going to accept to fight me, especially because I think he's going to 170 or something like that. He look big right now. But if they give me a fight, it will be McGregor or Islam Makhachev, of course, because I want to be champion, and I want to be a billionaire. I want to be a millionaire. I want to make money. So what better than be the millionaire? And fucking McGregor has the money. Moicano wants the money. McGregor have the money. So why not do that fight? That's good.
Can you do me a favor? Can you always refer to yourself as Moicano? Like always refer to yourself in third person, please. This will be big for you, my friend. It's like The Rock.
Of course.
You're like The Rock. You know The Rock? He referred to himself in third person. That's you. This is what you're doing. It's amazing.
Crazy. Yeah. Moicano wants the money, baby. That's it. Moicano wants the McGregor fight. Moicano wants everything, And I'm going to put the work to beat this guy up, bro. That's the truth, because I have been doing this in ATT. You can ask everybody. I have been running, wrestling, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, everything, because I don't have time to lose, and I only have a certain amount of time. So this
Sure.
is the time. This is the best version of Moicano, and this is the best version of my broken English. But fuck that, I don't care.
It's perfect. By the way, isn't Moicano a nickname?
Yeah.
What does it mean?
It means like Mohawk.
Mohawk.
Because Mohawk, yeah.
Why?
Because when I was like a kid, I think I was 10 or 9. I was really young, and my father made a bet with me. He said, "You don't have the balls to do the Mohawk and go to the class." And I say, "I do," and like he gave me a couple money, and I did. And when I went to the school, everybody started calling me Moicano.
Your
And
father
after that,
made this bet with you? Your dad?
my father.
Jeez,
My father is crazy, bro. If you know my father is fucking crazy.
Why is he crazy?
No, because he's such a funny guy, and he's like he always supported me in everything, in fighting, everything, and he just loved he always wanted me to be like different, to do whatever I want, and that's why he always supported me to be a fighter. And like I don't know, I just love my dad, and he's fucking crazy.
Where does he live?
He live in Brazil.
Okay, and does he go to your fights? Is he able to?
Only one time.
Oh.
And the only time that he went to my fight, I got knocked out to Jose Aldo. So he doesn't want to go to fights anymore. He say, "No, fuck that, bro. I cannot handle that."
By the way, they should put you on the Rio card. Are you going to be on that card?
I'm not sure, because it's like January, right?
Yeah.
January is
too soon.
Too close. Too soon. But
what do you mean? You took a fight on 4 days' notice 2 weeks after your last fight. What do you mean too soon?
Yeah,
2 months.
Yeah, that's why I'm talking about. If they offer me good money, I will. 100%. But the money has to be right.
Yes, of course. Now, why are you asking people what your nickname should be if you already have a nickname?
No, because like I like Moicano, but I'm asking because everybody starts to calling me like Big Money or Moicano. I was just joking. I'm not gonna change my nickname. I'm not gonna change.
Okay.
Was that a joke?
And what about your beef with EA Sports? What's going on over here? I mean, they're disrespecting you as well, EA Sports, right? What's happening?
Did you see the guy?
Yeah.
Man, my fucking character is clapped, bro. He doesn't look like me. Look, man.
We're showing the picture. We're going to show the picture right now.
Picture.
Here's the picture right here. You don't think it looks like you? You think it's a bad?
No.
No.
Look the eyes, bro. Look the fucking eyes. Looks like I smoke weed or something, bro. No.
You don't smoke weed?
No.
You just said you were high at the barbecue.
Drinking beers.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay, drunk. Now, what does clapped mean? I've never heard of this term. What does that mean?
I don't know, but people say in the games all the time, I think it's ugly, but I don't even know, to be honest with you, brother.
Well, at least you're in the game. Some people aren't even in the game.
Yeah. No, but I'm really happy to be on the game. The moment that I discovered that I was in the game was the second happiest day in my life.
Wow.
Because I never thought that I never thought I would be in a fucking game, bro. That's fucking amazing. This is crazy. But if they can update my photo, would be better. Put some new tattoos, and my eyes doesn't look like that. But I'm still happy because I'm in the game.
Well, you said second best day of your life. What's the first best day?
Maybe the third, because the first day was when my son born. The second day was they called me to be on the UFC. It was fucking incredible. I remember till this day. And 100% the third day was when I discovered I was in the video game, and I played the video game and it was me. That was fucking crazy.
Amazing.
I was so happy. I spent 1 week laughing of happiness because I never thought I would be in a video game. So I'm in the UFC game. I'm really happy. But please, fix that character.
It's clap.
It's clap, bro. It's clap.
Clap, bro. Come on.
Yeah.
By the way,
come on, bro. On God.
Where were you when you got the call that you were in the UFC?
I was watching. We say when UFC called me, right?
Yeah.
I was watching UFC 100 knockouts on Combate. Do you know?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Combate, the big
channel,
television network channel in Brazil, and I was watching the biggest 100 knockouts in the UFC, and they call me and they say, "We have a fight for you in 1 week." And I say, "Of course, you don't have to pay me." My first fight, I said, don't need to pay me. I don't give. Yeah, the first fight in UFC, I say to my manager at the time, I say, UFC doesn't need to pay me. I just want to fight in UFC. And that was my mindset before, because I was just thinking about to be on a UFC and all that stuff. But I was so happy that I say, I don't want to, you guys doesn't need to pay me. But they pay me anyway, so I was happy.
And now you're all about the money. Now you want to get paid even more.
All about the money. Yeah, all about the money. I think because I went to America, and in America I started to learn that time is money.
Yes.
You have to make money to have time. So I learned about money a lot. In Brazil, we don't think in money like that. Is crazy. In America, I started to learn about money.
By the way, I noticed that you also said that the Yair Emmett interim featherweight title is a little bit funny. What did you mean by that funny?
You know what I mean? It's because it's not look like, not disrespect for both, but Yair, he win a fight against Ortega by injury or something.
Yeah.
And Emmett was a tough fight. His last fight was like not a domination. I just don't feel they are champs, One of them gonna be champ, but they don't feel like maybe paper champ. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because Volkanovski is so good. I think he represents the featherweight division. A true champion. I think Volkanovski is a true champion. Like an interim belt with Yair and Emmett doesn't look good for me.
Okay.
To be completely honest with you, I don't feel they're gonna be champions, and they're not because it's interim titles. But even though I think it's not a good fight to make, like interim belt of the featherweights. I don't know if you understand.
No, I understand 100%. And so I'm wondering, so you just came off the win over Brad Riddell. I like the idea of you versus Hooker next. Go after the next CKB guy. What do you think?
No, that's the fight to make. Everybody knows. What else you can do? We fight in the same day. I be his training partner. He's from fucking Australia or New Zealand. I don't fucking know. he's fucking from far away from here, bro.
Yes.
So I don't know. It's the fight to make, right? He's number 11. We fought in the same day. So this is the fight to make. Everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Now, let me ask you, what if they say they want to do this fight in Australia, in Perth, in February? Are you down with that?
Yeah, I would, but I have to see because I want my coaches to be with me. And my coaches, they are, I think they are in green card process, so they don't have the documents to travel. So I think this is going to be hard. So maybe we can find a fight here in America. I think here is better. And the other thing is, America is better than Australia, and America is where is the money at. The money is at America, and I don't want to have to pay taxes on Australia too, or New Zealand. I don't know. So this fight, we have to make this fight in fucking Las Vegas or New York or a big city in America. That's what I think. Okay. But this is up to UFC, not up to me. But I'm waiting for a contract. But the fight to make is Dan Hooker for sure, 100%.
Okay. What do you like to spend your money on?
Back in the day, I just used to save money to buy a house, and I bought the house. So nowadays, I start to like watches. So I bought some watches.
Oh.
I bought this watch.
Oh, wow.
Beautiful watch.
It's beautiful, yeah. How much is that?
Yeah. This is like a couple $1,000.
Come on. Is this smart? Don't waste your money on this stuff.
No, it's not fucking smart, but you know what? You have to look good too, bro.
I know.
You have to live your life. So I'm spending a little bit of my money. Not much, but sometimes I like to have nice things.
Yeah, of course. Jewelry. I see you have some jewelry there. You like to spend on jewelry? Okay.
Yeah. Little bit.
Yeah.
Not much.
And the more money you make, the more you can buy. But you have to be smart as well, right? Because you don't want to waste all your money.
No, I don't want to waste. And like I say, I don't want to be a fighter who needs to fight to get money. I think this is the worst case scenario when you're like old and you don't know anything else, because I just know how to fight. But imagine when I'm in 40, 38, 39, something like that, and I don't have the money. I have to go over there and get beat to get money. That's no good. So that's why I like to save money too. And every month I buy like index funds, So every month I buy a little bit. Yeah. I like to buy index funds. like SP 500 and some mutual funds too.
Wow.
So so because like I say, I start to learning about investing because nobody told me that in Brazil. I didn't know shit about inflation and economy. So nowadays, every day I reserve a time to go to the internet and search for courses and stuff. So I'm investing my money too.
And you do this on your own, like you're just teaching yourself.
Not teaching myself, but I have another friends that I have a friend that is like he has like a major in economy and he like to buy stocks. But like I say before, I'm not comfortable to picking stocks because I don't know shit about stocks. So I buy mutual funds like SP 500, some index funds with high dividend yields and that kind of stuff. So I go with the safe bet nowadays, but I feel more I start to understand that I'm gonna put a little bit of risky stuff like crypto and all that kind of shit.
Oh yeah. You don't need that stuff. And your manager, Orrin Hodak, very smart guy, Jewish guy. They know a lot about money, the Jews. So you should listen to him.
A lot about money.
Yes.
Jewish. Yeah. And he started to say, hey, you're looking more Jewish every day because he has. You just talk about money and you love free shit, so you fucking Jew.
Yes, that's perfect.
And I love Orrin. Orrin, you should talk to Orrin. He's a very nice guy, and I learned a lot.
Yes. Yeah, he has a very impressive client roster as well. I talk to him all the time about the likes of you and Kevin Holland, just signed Terrence McKinney, so many guys that he has on the roster, KO reps. Is there any part of you, Renato, that feels like, man, if I would have spoke like this 5 years ago, I'd be so much more popular. Like I wish I would have learned English earlier so that people could have seen the true me come out.
I wish, because I back in the day, I fought with Jose Aldo.
Yeah.
But people still doesn't know who I was, because I didn't talk and I was like trying to be humble and trying to be like low profile and after that I did the main event with Korean Zombie. Didn't play out good for me, but still I didn't take advantage of the promotion. But nowadays I'm gonna be loud and I'm gonna be myself, and I want money to have nice things and money to invest in fucking economy and stocks, and I want to be set up for life, and I deserve to have a good life because I put in the work. Every day I go to the fucking gym. Every day I try to study about money, and every day I try to be the best version that I can be. So I deserve that money, and I'm going after the money,
I love it. I love everything about this, Moicano, and I need you to keep referring to yourself as Moicano, okay? Never say...
Moicano?
Yes.
Wants money.
Let's go. This is tremendous. Congratulations, my friend, on the win. Incredible stuff. Parabéns. Obrigado for the time. And great to have you on the show. I'd like to have you on more often, so please come back, okay?
Man, this is a huge honor for me to talk with a guy like you that have a fucking huge audience. Everybody loves you. And I love to talk about MMA. So when you need me, just let me know, and I'm going to be here 100% to talk about fights, to talk about money, and hooker. Be careful, my friend. Be careful and sign the contract. Let's fight in New York, California, doesn't matter. USA, pay the bills, bro. Let's go. Fuck Australia.
All right, let's go. Thank you, Renato. Thank you, Moicano. There he is, man, with a big win on Saturday and an even better, unbelievable turn of events. Incredible. What an
amazing interview.
Yeah, what an amazing interview. I mean, really incredible stuff there from Renato Moicano, and truly one of the best characters in the game right now. That post-fight interview was unbelievable. Loved it. All right, let's move along to our next guest. I'm so excited to talk to this man. He had one of the biggest wins on the card on Saturday at MSG. It was one of the most anticipated fights. Everyone's calling it the people's main event. That was my line. You all stole my damn line. I came up with that, and no one's giving me credit. It doesn't matter. You can have it. I'm talking about El Diamante himself, the man, Dustin Poirier. There he is, Dustin, at the airport. What's up, Dustin?
What's up, bro?
Where are you right now?
At the airport, Lafayette Airport.
Where are you going?
Coming back to Staten Island right now. I'm coming back to New York.
You are? Why don't you come visit us in studio?
You got a show tomorrow?
No, I don't. What are you doing in New York?
Yeah.
You're coming to go back to the scene of the crime on Saturday?
No, man. I wiped my fingerprints and bounced out of there as fast as I could.
What's?
I'm coming Teddy Atlas is having a dinner. He has a foundation and a big charity dinner. So me and my wife and a couple of board members from the Good Fight Foundation are coming up.
I was supposed to be there myself. I've gone the last 3 years. It's an incredible time.
I know. He invited me the last few times, but it was just like a fight. It was always something. So I finally can make it. It sucks. It's this close. I just got back home, but
right.
I'm it's all good.
All right. Well, thank you for doing. Are you rushed for time? I just want to know. Do you have a flight to catch? I didn't know you'd be joining us.
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm
okay.
good.
All right. Well, thanks for doing this from the airport, man. It's incredible. I thought it was one of those fake Zoom backgrounds or something because it looks so still back there. What a fight, man! I had an epiphany during your fight. I was watching your fight, and especially in the first round when you were getting rocked, and I was watching it, and
dude, none of them shots really hit me clean. I was rocked from a headbutt bad, man. That's what started the whole barrage of him trying to finish me against the fence. The headbutt was the biggest shot I took that night.
Really?
Yeah, big time.
Did you think the headbutt was intentional?
No, not at all. Not at all.
Okay.
He kind of went down like faked the shot. I kind of down blocked and started to sprawl, and as he was coming back up, and man, it was a good shot.
So headbutt or not, how rocked were you though?
I was really hurt. That's why immediately I went back to the fence in the first round to kind of use it as a crutch. And obviously he started going crazy trying to finish me. I would have done the same thing to him. He probably didn't even know the headbutt. I got the worst of it for sure. It hit me like under my jaw.
Were you worried?
Yeah.
And how were you able to? How long did it take for you to regroup?
I mean, that whole exchange, when he was trying to finish me against the fence the first time, luckily I was able to roll and kind of bob and weave with the punches and nothing landed flush. But I was, I was worried.
The fact that you hadn't fought in 11 months, did that come into play at all? Did you feel a little rusty early on?
No, it's the opposite for me, man. When I take these long breaks, like before the Hooker fight, even the Max fight in Atlanta, when I have those long breaks, I want to fight. It's a good feeling. Really?
Why? Because you feel refreshed?
Because when I'm in the locker room, I can't wait to get in there and the bell to ring. I can't wait to fight. All fight week, I just kept thinking that to myself. I can't wait to do this.
Speaking
and not that it's not that, but sometimes it's more of I can't wait to get this over with, rather than I can't wait to get into it. You know what I mean?
Your relationship with him, did that come into play at all? Meaning you can't wait to get in there because this one, I don't know if personal is the right word, but
no, perform. Anybody could have been standing across.
Okay.
I can't wait to perform.
How would you describe your quote unquote relationship with him? It just felt like there was you know how I described it? There was just some professional friction there. It's not like you guys despise each other, but there was definitely some tension between you. How would you describe it?
It's a fight. Of course there's going to be tension, Of course there's going to be tension. We're going to try to hurt each other. That's what I was saying all week.
But in this case, I mean, you could fight anyone. He's not your best bud. There was just something there that you guys weren't. And you know what's funny about it? I actually feel like you guys are actually quite similar. You're both family guys. You both really care about your family. You're both good people. You help your communities. And I felt like there's maybe it's some similarities there, which for whatever reason makes you two not on the same page, if you know what I mean.
Maybe so. I just thought, the turbulence from my side was just, I thought, I think he's a fake guy,
So you don't really co-sign on the things I just said. You're like, shut up, Ariel.
But again, I don't know. That's just my perspective. That's just what I think.
Right.
It might not be the truth. I don't know. I don't know the guy personally.
So I
know you're a good guy.
Well, I appreciate that, Dustin. What I was going to say at the beginning before, I said rocked and that annoyed you a little bit was I was watching that and I was like, man, you know what? I really love Dustin Poirier. I mean, I feel like we've seen you grow up in front of our eyes. You've evolved. And when you were biting down on your mouthpiece and just in the pocket there, I was like, this freaking guy, man, the stuff that you have given us, the amount of legendary nights, great fights, you are a true legend of this game. And I wonder if you view yourself as such. Are you allowed to look at yourself in that way, or are you still kind of in the midst of it all where you don't really view you fight, it's a big deal. You have reached that superstar status, in my opinion. When I was watching you, maybe because it had been so long and this past year was such a roller coaster in terms of you're going to fight this guy, you're not going to fight this. it felt special to me. Like, oh, Dustin's on the card. This is special. Do you view yourself like that? Are you allowing yourself to view yourself like that?
I mean, it's kind of hard to I don't allow myself. You know, I know I've done some awesome stuff, and when I fight, crazy things happen every time. Me and Mike Brown talk about it all the time. You know, like it's something crazy is going to happen every time I get in there, but like I can't look at it like that. I'm thankful for it. What I do notice it is more so with my peers, man. Like when I run into fighters who I look up to or that I'm a fan of, and they come up to me and shake my hand, and they're like, "Hey, man, you're a warrior." You know that kind of stuff. Being a fighter's fighter, when I run into those guys and they show me appreciation, that's kind of the moments I feel that.
Yeah, getting that respect from the ones that you respect.
Exactly, and I really appreciate it, man, because this is a tough thing we do, and I'm a fan of these guys, and they come up to me and say, "Man, you're inspiring," or "Man, you're a warrior." You know, that's what I want.
Speaking of which, before the fight, you met Mike Tyson in the locker room. What is it like to have a moment with
Iron Mike?
Yeah.
The real Iron Mike.
That's right. What's it like to have a moment with Mike Tyson before you're actually about to go fight another human being? I can't imagine many more inspiring things.
It was awesome, you know, because he signed Chuck Zito is friends with Tyson. He got me a signed glove, you know, a couple years ago, and I never got to meet him in person. So to shake his hand and see him in the flesh, you know, I've been watching the guy for so long, and throughout my fighting career, I've always appreciated Mike Tyson's ability to put into words the feelings fighters have and just how crazy the chaos is. You know, he speaks very elegantly about everything. You know, if you watch his documentary, it's really awesome to see him speak. So I've been a fan of his for so long. To shake his hand and to talk to him was something special to me. And then, dude, I had the Marvin Hagler hat on. Take a picture of Tyson with the Hagler hat. This just freaking crazy, man.
Okay, I want to ask you about the hat in a second. I was just about to ask you about, but just curious, did Tyson give you any advice before you walked out?
No.
It was just like a very quick hello, meet and greet type of thing?
Yeah, I think he was actually in there to come talk to Glover or somebody, and they happened to be in my locker room. So when he walked in, I was like, oh, shit, man, I got to get a picture with this guy.
That's incredible that you're asking him for a picture. You're about to fight in front of a sold-out MSG crowd. So I saw the post-fight press conference first, and you're sitting there with a hat with tape on it. And I was like, oh, look at Dustin. This is cool fashion. Like, he's got a hat with black tape on it. I thought that was the hat. Then I go back and I saw you did the media rounds, and I see the red war hat, the Marvin Hagler hat. I was like, this is the coolest shit ever. So first of all, can you explain how you got that hat and why you were wearing that hat?
Actually, the guy who gave me that hat. So this goes back to my previous training camp when I was getting ready for Charles. A buddy of mine from Florida, Roman Feraldo, he's actually a Bellator fighter. He's fighting this Friday. And he had the hat on. He was in the gym sparring and stuff. He had the hat on. I complimented. I was like, bro, I'm a huge boxing fan, obviously. The Hagler hat's amazing. Where'd you get it? He goes, I'll get you one. That was last training camp. So at the beginning of this training camp, after sparring and stuff, he came up to me and he just had it in his bag. And he said, I got you one. I told you I'd get it for you. And I was like, bro, I'm bringing this to fight week. I'm wearing this on fight night. This is it.
Incredible. Now, why did they make you cover it up?
I don't know. Maybe they thought it was like a company. Maybe, obviously, they're not boxing fans.
Yeah. Did that annoy you?
A little bit, but it's all good.
It's iconic. It's just.
Yeah, but like the people working behind the scenes, you know, it has to be Venom or unbranded.
Right.
And they might have thought the war was actually a company, not just, but I don't know. Okay. I don't know, but they maybe put a piece of tape on.
Have you rewatched the fight?
Yeah.
First round, I thought, you know, DC and company, they were praising him for this. I actually thought, who am I? But in retrospect, I thought when he had you, quote unquote, rock, he went for the takedown. I actually thought that helped you out. I thought that was a mistake on his part to go for the takedown. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, it let me recover.
Yeah. Were you surprised he did that? Were you like, oh shit, this is great?
No. I didn't want to be taken down, but looking back on it, hindsight, you know, maybe it's a good thing he did. But that's just instincts too. You know, he was probably in a firefight, adrenaline pounding, and he's a hell of a wrestler. And you go back to instincts.
Were you surprised he used his wrestling as much as he did, even if it wasn't a ton? But there were two key moments where he did, especially in the third round, which ended up, you know, leading to you finishing him. But we haven't seen him use his wrestling a lot these days, especially in the UFC.
I thought him speaking fight week saying, you know, I'm not here for another fight of the night fight. I thought he was going to wrestle more than he did, actually.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Okay. Now, there's the two key moments that people have talked about a lot. And just for the record, I want to just make clear. Do you think he blew his nose on you on purpose?
Dude, I don't care what the fuck the guy says in interviews or the guy he's trying to portray. He 100% did. He 100% did.
Did you say anything to him in that moment when it happened?
Yeah. When I was elbow, I was calling him a nasty motherfucker. That's what I kept telling him. I can hear him blow his nose. He did it hard. You know, let me tell you this. If you go back and watch the replay of the blood falling out of his nose, yeah, it was leaking. It might be broken, whatever. But when he got it lined up where he wanted it, those huge globs that come out, that didn't fall out. He forced them out. And it's fighting. It's war. Just like the hat said, it's war. You know, I've done it to guys before. I did it to Joe Duffy in Vegas when he shattered my nose. I was trying to bleed on his eyes and throw elbows. It's just fighting, you know, but don't lie about it.
Okay. And then the other one is the fish hook. Do you feel like he did that on purpose?
Yeah. Yeah.
And what does that feel like?
I mean, it doesn't hurt, but the leverage you get on that grip, you know, he had his fingers like on my top teeth where my mouth guard is. So he kind of tried to get my neck up to lock in the choke. It's a lot of that. The leverage you get from gripping that is hard for me to keep my chin down, you know?
Has that ever happened to you before in a fight?
No.
Wow.
No, but I bit the shit out of his fingers.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, but I had my mouth guard in, so only my bottom teeth could get him, you know?
That's right. Do you think it worked?
No, he didn't even try to pull it out when I bit.
Wow. How long was it in there for? Would you?
Dude, what's I don't know. I'm not sure about that, but like in the moment when I was biting down on his fingers, I kind of like stopped biting, like, oh shit, what am I doing? Like, you know, it kind of reality hit me. I'm like, well,
what the?
I'm glad I bit him, but like, what? It was just like an instinct.
Well, in the moment when he's on top and the blood is pouring on your face, I mean, is that like the grossest moment of your MMA career? I don't know if there could be anything grosser than that. Like, there's a guy's blood it was like a faucet on you.
Yeah, no, I love that stuff, man.
You love that? You were happy in that moment.
Yeah. Like talking about fighting, like when I say I don't love this no more and stuff like that, that's a lot of the outside stuff that I'm speaking on. That stuff is why I still fight, because I love that. I love that uncomfortable. It's just a crazy place to be in.
What is it about it? Like, can I understand why you would love that?
It's just so real. Nothing in the whole world stops. Nothing else matters but this moment. And I don't know. I don't know how to explain it, but it's uncomfortable. It's very uncomfortable, but I love that uncomfortable. A lot of these fights, man, I might need, you know, not even be better athlete, better technician, but I'm just okay with being uncomfortable, and I out uncomfortable these guys, you know. Every fight is uncomfortable, but I know it is for them as well, and I like that. It's a weird thing to try to put into words, but that's what I still love that about fighting. That's what keeps me in love with this still.
Do you think you were always like that, or is that something you developed over time?
I think I was always like that, maybe settled into it over the years, but I was always like that.
Wow. And then, by the way, when you go to the back, like when you take a shower, is there blood like in your ear all over the place? Like what's going on?
Yeah, I was still cleaning blood out of my ears yesterday.
Come on.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Yesterday? Yeah. That was Tuesday. Yesterday. Oh my God. And you like that?
I mean, that's kind of gross. No.
What were your shorts like? And did you keep the shorts?
My hand wraps were completely drenched. They stink now because it's been a couple of days. But shorts actually weren't that bad. Didn't have a whole lot of blood on them. I keep the stuff because I'm going to auction it off.
Right. All right. So what was the cause for this particular fight? For, you know, every fight usually have a cause for the Good Fight Foundation. What was this one going to?
We kind of did a dual goal with this one. We're going to do 500 meals, a family pickup, first come, first serve, 500 full meals. So a ham, bread, greens, and a big pan to bake it all in for families in Lafayette who need it. And we're also going to do Christmas presents for kids at a women and children's shelter here in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Wow. Okay. And so you'll be auctioning that stuff, and all that. The proceeds will go to those charities.
Yes, sir.
That is incredible. So you get the win over him. And by the way, just curious about the finish there. Can you explain, like, as an expert, he takes you down and looks like it's going to be this emphatic slam, but you're able to maneuver it to a point where now you're in the dominant position.
Yeah, I kind of had an angle on him before he picked me up. I was trying to kind of, butt drag him and get around to his back before he lifted. But dude, I gotta say, the position he lifted me in, he's so strong. Like his legs, back, and ass is so strong to lift another man in that position. High crotch lifts are pretty easy because it's more of a balance thing. But when you're squatted down, he was almost doing a split and lifted me from that position. He's got some serious, power.
Wow. And so how were you able to use that to your advantage, though?
I kind of landed a little bit on my hip and trying to get an angle, but then he swung around to my back. And I mean, just doing this for so long, grappling, I knew that leg was coming. So I kind of had my hand waiting for his leg to try to put the hook in. And as soon as it touched me, I whipped it off and he kind of fell off.
Incredible. I love that moment that was caught on camera of you telling him that you were afraid to fight him, but like a healthy afraid. And I'm wondering why you said that to him in the moment, because clearly, like, you called him a dirty MFer and you weren't happy with some of the stuff, but why give
They didn't catch the other stuff before. That was like the second time we spoke right after the fight.
Oh,
we spoke immediately after. And dude, he's just such a freaking fake dude.
What did you say the first time that we didn't catch?
I walked into him and said, hey, respect. I think I might have, it's kind of blurry in the moment. But a couple of things I know for sure. I said, you're a nasty motherfucker. I told him that, but I said, this is my house. I said, I respect everything you've done, but this is my house that I built, And then he looks at me, he goes, such a freaking dweeb. He looks at me, right when I say this is my house, he goes, what, Madison Square Garden's your house? Madison Square Garden's your house? He goes, what? Then he points down on the mat. He goes, this logo on the mat, this is your house? And I'm like, I tapped him on the shoulder. I said, all right, bud. Okay, bud. Okay,
and that's the first exchange. But then in the second exchange, we see you give him, I mean, a pretty huge compliment, right? I mean, as a fighter to say that.
Before I told him those other things, though, I told him, hey, respect you.
Okay.
But this is war. This is my house, and I built this, and been doing this a long time in this organization, and yeah. But the second time, it was just something I wanted to get off my chest to let him know. But I told him that earlier in the week. We did an interview with Megan Levy, and I told him, that this fight got me up.
Was there a part of you that didn't want this fight because of those feelings?
No, I want those. I want those because those are going to be the fun fights, the crazy fights, and potential fight of the year type of fights. But those are also the fights that give me those butterflies in my stomach every day, or when the contract comes through and I see his name across from it. I've been watching the guy a long time in Bellator and watched. I know some guys he beat, and just very explosive, and that danger. It's always the unknown, no matter how prepared you are, Ariel. But when you go out there and you got a guy of that caliber who can finish the fight in a second and hit you with shots, cover distance, just a lot of things he does, very, very dangerous.
Your last few fights have all been gigantic, Conor, Khabib, Charles. So I would imagine you have this feeling before all your fights now, right? This is not a new thing.
Yeah, but it's a different kind of, when you got a violent guy who throws front kicks and flying knees and overhands that sleep people, one punch knockout power. When you have guys like that, it's a different kind of, a different kind of feeling. Of course, I had that with Khabib, but it was a different kind. I don't want to get taken down. That's
right.
A different kind of feeling rather than I'm gonna stand in front of a freight train.
Did you see his post-fight press conference, and did it bother you that he didn't own up to those things that you were talking about?
Yeah, I saw some clips. Just be honest, man. Just it's whatever. And I'm sure he didn't plan on doing it, but in the heat of the moment, you're fighting for your life, bro. You just like when I bit him, I didn't plan on biting him. I was like, oh shit, I'm freaking really biting this guy.
Right.
But it's war and it's fighting and things happen in there. But admit it.
Fighting in MSG for someone that loves boxing, loves combat sports, is somewhat like a historian. What was that like for you?
Incredible, man. Like when getting in the elevator, walking through, going into the locker room, then Mike Tyson walks in. It was just a really special night for me. Yeah, it was just a really special night for me, dude. So thankful. Gonna tell my daughter, tell my grandkids one day, tell anybody who listened that, I fought at a sold out Madison Square Garden and had a crazy fight. I'm prideful of that stuff.
By the way, we saw Frankie bring his daughter to the fight as kids, and it was very hard to watch. It was very hard to watch, period. But knowing that his children were there, knowing how close you are with your daughter, do you think you'll ever bring her to one of your fights?
She came to the Oliveira fight. That's the only fight she's ever been to.
Oh wow! And
but she there's like a I wouldn't say a daycare. There was like a thing set up where she was in a back room because that's just such crazy energy, especially at her age. Frankie's kid is a little bit older, but especially at her age, I don't want her to go through those emotions and you never know what's going to happen out there either. I don't want her to be front row if something bad happens. And but that was the only fight she's been to. Do
you think you'll bring her when she's older?
Maybe so. We'll see. I actually have a crazy story about the Oliveira fight and my daughter. My wife was dropping my daughter off at with the sitter in the back room at the venue, and my daughter was crying. My wife's like, "What's wrong, baby? What's wrong?" She goes, "I'm sad because Dad's gonna lose tonight."
What?
She told that to my wife. Yeah, she told that to my wife like hour before the fight, 30 minutes before the fight.
Wow. Why do you think crazy. She said that?
I don't know. But she was right. But I don't know.
Do you think it was because she saw Charles and was worried for you, or she had this? Did you? I
don't think she doesn't look into it that far. Maybe she just had some feeling. I don't know. I don't know. But it's crazy that happened.
When did your wife tell you that? Like how? I'm sure she
after the fight.
Yeah, after the fight. But like the night of?
Yeah, of course. Jay, did you tell me that the night of or the next night? Yeah, no. She said when we got back home.
Yeah, and did you ask your daughter about it?
No.
Oh man, that's kind of heartbreaking. I'm happy you didn't find out about it before the fight. That would be, kind of.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I didn't know they had a daycare in the back at the UFC events. Who knew?
Well, they have like a sitter and some to help with kids and stuff like that.
Right. Okay. So what is this? Someone in at the beginning of the show asked me, what does this win get Dustin Poirier? Like, where does this put him? Is there a chance you're fighting next for the belt? What do you think? Now you've had a couple of days to process it. It's a gigantic win, and you're not that far away. And all of a sudden, Charles losing opens everything up for you. Where do you think this puts you right now?
Dude, I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know what's going to happen next.
What do you want?
I'm going to enjoy the holidays. I don't even know when I want to fight again. I might not fight till summer, honestly, because my daughter's in school and I don't want to leave her again. This last camp was a little bit different because she's in first grade. So I did 2 weeks in Florida by myself. My wife and daughter came for a month, and then I finished out camp the last 2 weeks by myself. And we had to get a tutor. We had to, speak to her school so she wasn't work absent, get her on the same curriculum. It was just a lot of, and I don't want to move my daughter around like that while she's in the middle of a school season. So we'll see. I don't know.
Would you ever?
I haven't been contacted by the UFC yet about potential matchups or anything like that. So I have no clue what's going to happen.
What do you want?
Big fights. Fun fights.
What about the winner of Islam and Volkanovski?
If the time, I do want to be undisputed world champion. If the time matches up, then for sure.
When you saw Charles lose, were you like, holy shit, there's now a path once again for me to fight for the belt?
Yeah, it opens up doors and makes new matchups and things like that. But I always knew there was a path back to the belt, even if Charles would have had the belt. Dude, I can do anything I put my mind to. I knew I could climb that mountain again. It was just, do I want to go through the killers, and do I want to fight 3-4 more times to put myself in position again? I'm taking this like one fight at a time, like not retirement talk, anything like that. But it's just, I've been doing it so long and been so high and so low on it. Just one fight at a time.
Do you want to do that? Do you want to go climb that mountain? Do you have it in you?
Oh, 100% I have it in me.
Okay. How do you feel about Volk getting the title shot?
I mean, good for him. He's going to try to make history. We've seen it done a few times, and we'll see if he can do it.
Do you think he has a chance?
Of course he has a chance.
Is there a part of you that would love to fight Islam just because you can't get the Khabib fight back, but he's the closest thing to Khabib, and maybe you can right that wrong? Do you view it like that, or is that us crazy media guys who think of things like that?
Yeah, I don't view it like that at all.
Okay.
I don't want to get even with these guys. I want to get ahead, man.
Right. I love it. And just curious, it looks like the Nate fight is never going to happen. Are you at peace with that?
No, I mean, it's out of my control. So I have to be, but I would love to have fought Nate. I really would have.
I think you got the short end of the stick. I mean, it all worked out, but I didn't like the way that you were being kept on the sidelines. If he resigns, they're going to book you. If not, and in the end, you get nothing.
Yeah. There was a lot of behind the scenes stuff that a little bit more about, obviously, than the fans and the other media people do. There was a lot of stuff like that going on.
Was that frustrating? Did you ever get to the point where you called them up and you're like, guys, I haven't fought, in 10 months, 9 months, and you're healthy, you're ready to go, right? Not fair to you.
Yeah, people ask me that all fight week, like, why'd you have such a long layoff? And I don't know the answer to that. I was trying to get fights the whole time.
And did you ever get to the point where you felt like you were being sort of iced as well?
I didn't know what was going on. I don't know if it was intentional or maybe they were just trying to set the right matchup not for me, like style-wise, but just for the company and the excitement. I don't know. I really don't know.
Okay. Is there anyone left that you haven't fought that you would be dying to fight, like that is sort of like a Nate, but who's available in the UFC? That is someone like sort of like, all right, I would love to climb that mountain. I'd love to check that name. I mean, there's pretty much very few guys left, but I'm wondering if there's someone that we're missing.
I don't know, man. I completed the violence triangle with finish KG, finish Eddie, finish Chandler.
It's amazing.
But I'm sure. I mean, there's a bunch of fights that would be crazy matchups. I just don't know a name right now.
The one I threw out was Beneil, just because it seems like he's like the number one contender guy in purgatory right now. Like, do you like? I know they were trying to do you and Beneil in October, right? There was some talk of that, but
yeah.
Would you be interested in that one? Does that excite you?
Not really, honestly. No disrespect to Beneil, a great fighter, and did it the right way. He's a very respectful guy, hard worker, goes in there and handles business, dude. And I respect that. And I'll watch when he fights, but that's not, when we just talked about the other names that I've fought recently, that one's not like super exciting when I think about it.
I feel like, regardless of what you may say, like you like the tension. I think you like a little bit of that tension, someone to get you up in the morning, right?
Yeah, dude, I'm in constant conflict. If it's not with the person, it's with myself. So I have to kind of be at war with something.
Okay. One last thing before I let you go. I'll let you go and do your thing over there. How did the whole hot sauce thing come about? Like, you're the official hot sauce of the UFC. How the hell did this happen?
It's been a long process. Been a few months of back and forth talking about doing it and trying to get some deal points right. And I have a great team, man, with the sauce. Heatonist out in Brooklyn, out in Williamsburg. Noah is an incredible businessman and he started a push cart, a hot sauce push cart, and he built it to like the biggest hot sauce distribution in America.
Wow.
From a push cart, just a hard worker and a good dude. He kind of spearheaded this whole deal with the UFC.
It's amazing. I see, like, I was in Toronto at a grocery store. I saw it there. Montreal, saw it there. It's everywhere. That place, Hedonist, I used to live right around the block. And I know you had a party on Sunday at the Brooklyn Brewery, which I used to live right next door to. It's amazing what this thing has become. And I tried the Creole Maple, a little Canadian love there. Incredible. It's the only hot sauce. Thanks. I send you pictures every time I do. I love it. It's incredible. Yeah. It's really a great product.
Thanks, man. No, I'm proud of it. And like I tell people that too, like it's not a white label thing that I just slapped my name on. We made these sauces exactly how I and the team wanted them, and same thing with this Creole Maple. We went through a few different batches, a few different test runs of different ingredients and until we nailed it down exactly what I wanted. And I'm proud of it.
Is there a website where people can go now to buy it?
Yeah, you can go to heatonist.com or international shipping is heartbeathotsauce.com.
All right. Dustin, you're the man. Thank you so much. Congrats. I wish I could give you a big hug. I wish I knew that you were coming to Staten Island. I would have gone. I have a school thing at my kid's school, middle school, introduction to middle school, crazy thing. I mean, figures, ducking me. First year that I missed out of the last 3 years, you show up. A little bit suspect if you ask me, but...
It's going to be a good time, man. Yeah, I wish you would be there.
It's an amazing scene. It's for a great cause. Teddy Atlas Foundation, incredible. Theodore Atlas Foundation. It's an incredible thing. And by Dr. Theodore, excuse me, my apologies. Dr. Theodore Atlas. Are you here on Monday? You could stop by the studio.
No, I'm taking off Friday morning. I got to get back home, dude. I just got to Louisiana. You know, I'm trying to get into a rhythm with my daughter. Get ready for Thanksgiving.
All right. Well, happy holidays to you and your family. Safe travels, and thank you for doing this. And congrats, man. So happy for you. Well done.
Thank you so much, man.
All right, there he is, the one and only Dustin Poirier. I mean, salt of the earth. I mean, what more can you say about Dustin Poirier? He's going to the Dr. Theodore Atlas Foundation event dinner in Staten Island, which I've been to for 3 years running. And I can't go to the one tomorrow because my son has a introduction to middle school event at his school, which I didn't want to miss.
That'll be fun.
Yeah. Which part?
You know, the whole introduction to middle school.
Yeah, I think it will be great. But I wish, you know, had I known, maybe I would have moved mountains. Maybe I would have called up the school and said, hey guys, can you change the day because Dustin's stopping by?
Yeah, I think that's exactly what you can do.
I probably should have done that. So that's great stuff. Still to come, by the way, Yair Rodriguez, El Pantera, the man who's fighting for the interim featherweight title in Perth, Australia. Excuse me, I was thinking about the hot sauce. Unfortunately, so that's at 4:00. Some unfortunate news. We were supposed to have Ash Belcastro in studio. Personal thing came up. He's in New York, but unfortunately he can't join us in studio. He can't be on the program, so we will do it another time. Let me just... All right. We do have to make some picks, and I have to answer some more questions. So we do have plenty to get to before we check in with Mr. El Pantera. By the way, GC, you tried the hot sauce, yes?
Oh, yeah.
That's an understatement.
What happened? Did I miss something?
Oh, you didn't see him do that?
I didn't see it on the thing.
Oh, yeah. I had to take a shot of the hot one and the normal one mixed.
Why?
Because I took Poirier by KO, and that did not happen. So I said if he doesn't knock Michael Chandler out, I said if he loses, I'll take a shot of the KO. If he just wins by decision, I'll take a shot of the normal one. He won by submission, so I felt like that was like a middle ground.
Okay.
It didn't go down easy.
Yeah, it was pretty scary.
It was mixed.
Yeah.
It was scary.
I'm just
it was
never
not scary. I handled it like a champ.
I've seen somebody try a hot sauce, but like a whole shot glass worth of...
Oh, yeah, it was a big...
How big was the glass?
Oh, it was a full-size
almost
shot.
2 ounces.
Now, is this the KO edition, which is the crazy one with the ghost pepper?
Yeah.
And the regular or the Creole maple?
And the regular.
Wow.
I started feeling heartburn just watching it.
It was worse than I expected it to be, I can't lie.
Wow.
It's a thick hot sauce.
Damn. The ghost pepper. I can't even have the ghost pepper. I mean, I'm pretty, conservative.
It tasted great. And now I got, leftover bottles that I get to put on my lunch while I'm here.
Oh, it's tremendous. It's absolutely tremendous. What is it about Dustin Poirier? How can we verbalize this man who says that he's happy when he's getting blood poured on his face? I mean, like what?
The way that he delivers that, too.
Yes.
He's so smooth about it. It's just like, you're happy doing that. He's just like, yep.
It does, like he's very no nonsense, right? And I say, like I legit love that guy. Like I love that guy. He's on my Mount Rushmore. He's just like the coolest dude. He's up there with Cheeto in the sense, to me, like there are certain guys who come across as truly happy in their own skin, happy with their lives, happy with their families, happy with their careers. They're content, right? There are certain guys who are in that spot. Cheeto's one of those guys. Dustin's one of those guys where you're just like, this dude has had to scratch and claw his way to get to this point. It hasn't been easy. And I've always said this about Dustin. And I don't know if you've seen it, GC. Have you seen the documentary Fightville?
No.
You really have to see it.
It's about Dustin?
It's about Dustin Poirier, but it's about Dustin Poirier, the amateur. This documentary crew just happened to pick him. It's like total luck. It would be like Hoop Dreams. You remember that show, that documentary? Have you ever seen Hoop Dreams?
No.
Jesus Christ. How old are you again? 28, 29?
29.
Hoop Dreams? I'm surprised you haven't seen Hoop Dreams.
Busy guy.
Have you seen Hoop Dreams, Frank?
Absolutely not.
Jesus Christ. Anyway, Hoop Dreams is a documentary where they follow these 2 high school kids. It would be like one of those kids becoming a huge star in the NBA. They just happen to follow this kid from Louisiana named Dustin Poirier, and he became Dustin freaking Poirier, right?
Wow.
It's an amazing documentary because you see him in this very, very small house with nothing to his name, trying to make it. I'm pretty sure his wife is in it too because they've been together forever as well. It's an amazing documentary, and I think that is why we have such a great appreciation for him, because it's very rare to see someone from that early stage in their career, right? And then see them graduate into what he's become now. And do you agree with me? Do you agree that like he fights now and it's like, wow, this is a superstar. This is one of the 10 biggest names in the UFC right now, right?
Poirier?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's got a massive fan base too, and the fact that he always delivers exciting fights, like he says, he's like, I don't know what it is, but it's just always crazy when I fight. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Fightful's great.
I'm looking at it on IMDb right now. It looks amazing. It looks really well made too.
Oh, it's a great film. We had the
Hoop
director.
Dreams came out in '94, by the way. That's 1 year after I was born.
Well, you never seen movies since what? Since '96? What? Like you don't go?
Oh, the trailer for this looks phenomenal.
Oh, it's a high level doc. Yeah, it's big, and they follow another guy who never really became anything.
Albert?
Yeah, I don't remember his name. It's been a while.
Wow, I mean that just proves it right there.
It's great, and it came out. I'm going to say 2012. Is it 2012?
2011, close.
Yeah.
Casey says Fightville is a legitimately good documentary, not just an MMA doc.
There you go. No, it's great. My favorite scene from Fightful is him cutting weight and struggling while watching the Food Network. And he said that he likes to do that when he's suffering while cutting weight. And then he buys like a bunch of candy and just has it ready for after the weigh-in. And I remember seeing that and being like, wow, that's super weird.
It's a good strategy, right?
If you're starving, do you want to watch like people making cakes and stuff like that?
But is it that much more rewarding when you're done?
I guess. But like when it's Yom Kippur and I'm fasting, I'm not watching the Food Network. I don't want to watch like people making pizzas. It's going to make me more hungry. But, that's just me. That's just me. I wonder what they do with him next. Beneil Dariush?
I really like that Beneil idea.
Yeah, but respect for the honesty, right?
Yes.
Doesn't get him excited. Doesn't get the juices flowing.
Though, didn't he say in the post-fight presser on Saturday that he liked the idea of that?
Yeah, but he was.
I guess
yeah. You come on the Helwani show, then you keep it real.
High off the win, yeah, and then you come on.
Them telling him to put the tape on the hat is whack. I like that side-by-side picture. Let me see who else. Dustin versus... there's not a lot of choices. He is right about the triangle. Finished Eddie, finished Gaethje, finished Chandler. Who the hell can say that? Fuck, could you imagine? He climbs the mountain one last time, and then he finally gets over the hump and gets the undisputed belt. That would be wild. Absolutely wild. All right, let's. I think it's time to make some picks. What do you think?
Yeah, we got Ricky on the horn.
And what about Renato Moicano? Can we just talk about him for a second? What is going on with that guy?
To just the way that he is just skyrocketed in fighters that I like, he is flying up the rankings.
My dad's fucking crazy, bro. He's fucking crazy, bro.
I also love that, like, he talked about that he learned English from playing on COD.
Yeah.
And, like, you can tell by some of the slang. Like, at one point he was like, on God. Like, just...
It's really unbelievable. And Clapped, I'm still not quite sure.
Yeah.
Might have to work that into the repertoire.
Clapped. Have you ever heard that before?
When
I haven't,
any context that I've heard clapped is like you're getting like beat bad. Like say like your football team is down 28-0. It's just like, man, we're getting clapped right now.
I have to admit though, like seeing the picture of his in-game avatar, that is the best way to describe it. It's like clapped.
Is it?
I think so. I don't even know what it means, but it seems accurate.
Moicano wants money. Oh my God. It's amazing. If he can continue to refer to himself only in the third person, I think sky's the limit for him. He's got a great look, great fighting style. He's very exciting. And I kind of agree. Him versus Hooker is the fight to make. Right? You keep that CKB storyline rolling along. I love that. All right. A quick word from our good friends over at DraftKings Sportsbook. And then we're going to make our picks. All right? And we're going to be back in business. The NBA action, my friends, is just getting started at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. The music's going up, so I'm getting nervous. New customers can make any $5 NBA pregame moneyline bet, such as Knicks over Jazz last night. Big win for the Knickerbockers in Salt Lake City. And guess what? You get $200 in free bets if your team wins. Plus, everyone can team up and earn up to 100% boost with DraftKings stepped-up same-game parlays. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, place a same-game parlay, and combine multiple bets like which team will win, total rebounds, total points scored, and more. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code the MMA Hour. Make any $5 bet this week and get $200 in free bets if your team wins. That's code the MMA Hour only at DraftKings Sportsbook. All right. I get money. I get money. I get.
Might be copyright right there.
I love the fact that we always go to New York Rick. He's always in the same spot, always wearing a black shirt, and I feel like it's just like we get beamed into his life for 20 minutes, and then he goes
where
back.
Else would I be? And what else would I be wearing? I mean, this is it.
Well, it's always.
I mean, maybe I'd be wearing this.
What is that? Oh, wow, that is big.
I'm not gonna wear it. But I am gonna give a shout out to Ray and Momo who gifted that to me.
Yeah, oh wow, legends.
Shout out to Ray and Momo.
By the way, I'd love to see the backdrop. Like, what's going on behind you?
I think there's a reason it's blurry.
No, what do you mean? It's just like a opened up couch.
Oh, okay.
Nothing.
For some
No,
reason,
there's literally nothing interesting going on behind me.
How many black
As
shirts
always.
do you own?
There's a closet
Can you take us to the closet?
in the range of, I mean, no, because my cam is like secured on top of the thing, but in the range of 30, 35.
All the
Serious?
same brand, all the same size.
Not all the same brand. Like they're all some variation of like Hanes. But some are like Climacool, this or that, or some, you know what I
Some
mean? Like
faded,
there's
some
kind of differences.
You've got
Yeah,
your
some are older, some are
exercise,
newer.
Your dress up, your work.
What
No, there's no circumstances where the black T-shirt isn't
what
like
detergent do you
it's not
use?
based on that.
To keep them black?
Downy? I don't know. That's more whatever's available. The wife buys that.
Oh, right.
Is there any part of you that just, you know, like sometimes you want to spruce it up, a little color, a splash of this?
Nope. I have eliminated decision making from that equation every single morning. It's great. Saves me time. Not interested.
Wow.
I think Michael
What
Crichton
is that?
did the
What is
same
that,
thing.
Steve Jobs or something that does that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, you weren't
Smart people do it.
You weren't always a black shirt guy.
No. Used to mix it up all the time.
When did that?
Wasted too much time.
When did it change?
Not
Wow, you really deliberated over your outfits.
a few years ago. Yeah.
All right. Is it a pandemic thing?
No, I mean, it's not even the deliberation as much as now you have to have, all these things in your closet that you're never going to wear, and you're picking this and you're shuffling through this. It's streamlined, simple. There, bin of black shirts, grab it, go, done.
Oh, you don't
Every
even
day.
hang them. You keep them in a bin?
Yeah, no, I mean, they're not, what am I going to hang
Wait,
them for?
you
They're
hang your
plain black
t-shirts?
t-shirts? Yeah, you hang t-shirts?
Hey, you want
Who
to
has nicer T-shirts I hang?
I hang
You
t-shirts.
hang what?
I mean,
if
my
it's
black
wrinkly,
t-shirts.
just steam it or something.
I fold my t-shirts.
It depends
fold
on
them and put them on a
depends
shelf.
on the level of quality of the T-shirt.
Wow. Do you dry
but
clean
this
your
is the-
t-shirts?
No, I don't dry clean anything. I'm not on that
this
level
dry
yet.
clean all my stuff.
This
Yes.
intricacy in this conversation is exactly what I'm able to avoid and not waste time with.
That's a good
Oh
point.
wow. So no, you're like freeing up your schedule for this kind of talk.
No.
I
I wish we could
Real-
talk
real
about
quick.
literally anything else at this moment, actually.
When you guys put your socks on in the morning, do you ever just zone out for a little bit? Is that just a me thing?
What do you do? You just like
I just
what,
like
fall
talking
over and
about?
take a nap.
A few
in the
moments
middle?
later, I'm like, wait, why haven't I put on my left sock? Like I'm already
Oh,
thinking
like
about
you'll
the
put
day.
one on and then sit there
Just sit
and
there
kinda-
and because it's in the morning. I know you're all laughing in here because you are suffering from
No,
the same
there's-
thing. Yeah. Let's meet after
This is-
work tonight. We can
Wow.
all talk about it.
Frank,
There's-
do we have to have an intervention for you? Is
Maybe.
there something going on? What,
Literally
what
happened to
is-
me earlier this
what
week
is
where I was like, damn, that was a long time I wasted putting the socks
You
on.
put on your sock and then you zone out
Yep.
before putting on the second
Just
one.
start thinking
This
about what I need to
happens
do for the
often?
day. And
Frank is 100% the kind of guy who takes a shower and puts his socks on first.
What do you mean?
you
Not
don't
before
do
he
that?
gets in the shower?
No. Gets out of the shower.
Oh, the very first thing.
Yes.
he puts on
Very
is
first
his
thing?
sock.
You're 100% that guy. Admit it. Admit it, Frank.
not
There
making it a
cannot be
mission.
anyone out there that does that.
Oh, yeah. Serial killers like Frank.
What the very first thing is the socks?
I'm gonna try it just to see if it feels.
It's putting a brutal image in my head, but it's hilarious.
Yeah. Jeez.
Comes down for breakfast. Tracy's there making breakfast, just socks, nothing else.
He puts the one sock on,
one sock,
zones out, and then puts the other sock on.
Yeah.
He's just standing naked in the bathroom, putting on his second sock.
So,
all right.
picks.
By the way, I'm so happy Ash didn't show up so that we can have this conversation. This is way better.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right.
Fightful, great documentary.
Fightful's tremendous.
Recommend.
Yeah,
Please.
right.
By the way,
back to Fightful.
You guys should watch that over the perhaps long weekend. By the way, are we doing a thing now, GC? Are we growing the beard a little bit and letting what's happening? Or
Listen,
did you
man,
just
I
get
can't
lazy?
keep up.
It's a show.
I can't keep up. I shave like 2-3 times a week. I know. Last time I shaved was Sunday morning.
It's
5 o'clock shadow.
And did I ask you this already? When it's over, do you start fresh, or because I think it'd be kind of cool to let the beard grow and then try to catch up to the mustache.
That's what I'm going to do.
Oh, that's sick.
That's starting on like December 1st, we'll let the beard catch back up.
That's sick. November 31st. What'd you say?
No, I think I said December 1st.
Oh, okay. I thought you said November 31st.
Yeah, you're always pushing that November 31st narrative.
Somebody check on Ariel. Is it out of there?
That's
it
his
is
favorite
pretty
thing
out
to
of
do.
there. It is
Yeah, I'll
pretty
do
out.
that on November 31st.
All right, guys, how we feel? We're gonna get back on track. Lot to choose from.
Feel good.
You said it, not me.
All right, let's go.
All right, let's randomize this order here. There we go. Machine's running slow today. Ariel, you get the honors.
Oh yeah.
Ariel followed by Frank, followed by Rick, and I will bring up the caboose.
Okay,
Perfect.
I'm cool with this. Let me pull up. By the way, can I go with Invicta FC 50? I mean, big show for them, 50th anniversary show. Not anniversary. Well, is it a 50th anniversary? No.
I don't
As
think
excited
the
as I
odds are going to
am.
be out.
Yeah, I see
As
some.
excited as I am for Invicta, they are not going to be on DraftKings Sportsbook. So
Talita Bernardo? No. All right. I'm
UFC,
gonna.
Bellator 288.
All right. Not even one, huh? Still no respect for one.
It's not on DraftKings right now, unfortunately.
This is crazy, brother.
Though they did release odds. Christian Lee, slight favorite.
Oh, just one fight?
No, that's
No,
just
not on
the main event.
DraftKings. Odds
in
exist
general.
in
No, it's
other.
not.
Got it. Okay. We're looking at a couple here. Just let me make sure. I mean, again, we said let's just go with the easy win. Let's just keep it simple, stupid, right? Like we're just not trying to
think it's-
reinvent.
I love it.
Um,
I want it to be negative this week. I want it to be a minus money 4-leg parlay.
Can I break the fourth wall for a moment?
Wait, what fourth?
B-
Okay.
before the show, Eric, I think you were on the thread. GC actually sent us 4 picks, like basically saying, "Can you guys just go in this direction so you don't f this up?"
See,
How did you
the
feel
problem
about
with
that?
Listen, you guys
Now
don't
that
have to
you-
follow him. I said, here's a couple
Now that-
picks.
Yeah.
But this is the first
Now that-
time you've done this, by the way. You've never done
Now
this.
now that
That's what I'm
you
thinking.
feel that, if we go with it, now it's all on GC, so the pressure is off and it all falls on his shoulders.
Yeah.
Well, actually, one of the picks was Frank's.
The two of us talked about our picks, and then we were like,
Yeah, it was weird. It was like, hey guys, we've thought about this, we've talked about it. Let's just go in this direction because it's all. And so I will go in that direction. One of the picks on the list that you gave us was Mr. Nurmagomedov, Usman Nurmagomedov, going for the Bellator lightweight title against Patricky Pitbull. I'll say the
a good one.
Nurmagomedovs get another belt around their waist on Friday,
what
which
a
will be
pick,
nice for me.
man.
Nice for me, you know. Pressure's off come Friday night.
Yeah.
And by the way,
Get one
right.
done.
You were going to pick that anyway.
I said I was looking at that one. I was looking at Jack Della as well.
Yep.
The reason I went with Usman is so that, you know, all the crazy dominance fanboys can be like, he hates dominance MMA fighters. Oh, wait, he picked them. He picked them to get off the schneid. That's how much I love dominance MMA.
That's for sure going to happen. They're all going to really pay attention to that and give you a lot of credit for it. 100%.
I think they will.
Yep.
All right, there's my pick, Usman Nurmagomedov.
That
Nice
means
pick.
I'm next.
Oh, and by the way, just for the record, for anyone, sorry, I don't mean to jump in. He's a minus 600. Patricky is a plus 450.
Let's
so
go.
Let's go.
He's now minus 645.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Oh, wow.
Even
Because of
better.
my pick.
So my pick, Maya
This is great.
Moroz over 1.5.
Maya Moroz?
Mm.
Who's that? I'm not familiar with Maya Moroz.
Jennifer Maya versus.
Oh,
Marina
got it.
Moroz over 1.5.
Oh, we're doing the over 1.5 stuff?
Yeah, I mean they.
Didn't
Seemed to work.
GC say
That
he
one
didn't
feels pretty good, I'll be honest.
All right.
That one feels pretty good.
Frank presented it to me, and I
started to make a face, and I was like, over 1.5.
I didn't start to make a face. I was very nervous.
How do you feel about it?
What is it currently at? It was
fun.
at minus 700 earlier.
It's still minus 700.
Nice.
I mean, this is a chalk soup we're making here. I
I'm gonna
love
take
it.
out a second mortgage for this one.
All right.
That brings us to Rick.
Ariel already hit. Easy one. Jack Della, the man. Been very
Look
impressed
at
with
that.
his UFC runs so far. Easy pick. That it was going to be, but for my two top ones, it was going to be between Usman and Jack Della.
What's his nickname again? He has a great nickname, and now I'm forgetting it. It's like, you guys know it? Jack.
I don't, because I've only referred to him as Jack Della.
No, he's been on the show.
JDM.
Hey, he talked about it. Yeah, he did. And now I forget what it was.
It's like something. It's something Italian. Don't have it. All right. Fine.
Let's see if we can find
It's not as good as Moicano.
Yeah, I don't see it.
No.
It's not even on Tapology. That was a Help Money exclusive.
But yeah, I mean, the guys looked sensational in the UFC.
Sensational against a guy in Danny Roberts that was picked apart.
Look, Danny's a good
Francisco
fighter, but
Trinaldo
he's hit
last
or
time.
miss. Yeah, he's hit or miss. But Jack Della, I believe.
All right,
You
let's
told me
round this thing
before the
out.
show that you were really excited about Jack.
I've been excited about Jack. Love that guy.
All right. So, and he is
Minus 520.
minus 5. Minus 500?
Yeah, minus 520.
Oh, 520. Okay. I thought you would say minus 520.
Yeah, minus 520.
You said
What is
500.
going on?
You said 520.
Yeah, I said 520.
You
at
said
first.
what?
Yeah, it was,
I said 520, and then you said what? And I said minus 520.
yeah, it's just weird. All right.
Somebody help
You want
him.
me to drop the
Please,
end?
somebody get in
Do you
there
want
and
me to
help.
drop
I
the
thought the
Ariel.
end was
Something
weird. I
happening.
thought the end was weird.
Okay.
Well, the end would
Oh.
normally mean a decimal point, right? So 5.
Oh, no,
and
I'm a strong and.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes, he's
Is that
minus.
just-
He's
that
minus
grammatically
5.
incorrect?
a little bit, but
0.20.
we still knew what you meant, except for Ariel.
Oh, thank you to the YouTube chat. Don Giacomo. That's his name.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
But
legend.
now, wasn't that kind of I feel like who was it? Somebody said they call him that.
There's something, but I like it. Don Giacomo.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
tremendous nickname.
It's good.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be I'm gonna be very exposed on Jack Della this weekend. I want to say I don't know if it was Engaged, but someone made a sick shirt for him.
You bought it?
Don't do it.
No, but if he wins, I might have to.
Oh God.
Yeah, that should be the thing. Buy the T-shirt after they win.
Maybe that's the
That's what I
perfect
do
way
with
to
that.
reverse the curse.
Yeah,
Buy the
I mean,
shirt.
no one talks when I wear the Bills jersey every week and they win, and then I forget to do it 2 weeks in a row, and they're on a 2-game losing streak.
Oh, you didn't tell
You
me
didn't
this.
tell us.
Yeah, you didn't tell us that. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, I accidentally left the jersey.
You wear that
here.
jersey this weekend.
Oh, you left it. This is now the reason.
Two games in a row they've lost when I didn't wear the jersey. If they win this weekend, when I re-don the jersey,
Now we know what's up. By the way, I can live in a world where the T-shirt curse affects everyone else except for the Bills.
or the T-shirt curse is real and I'm a jersey blessing.
Ah.
All right, let's round this thing out.
Yeah.
Got to get to it. Main event, Derek Lewis, Sergey Spivak, 5 rounds. Don't think it's going to take that long. I will take the fight does not go to a decision. Minus 650, that rounds us out. This is the one, boys. We are cursed if we can't get back on track with this one. 4-leg parlay pays out minus 123.
Nice.
I feel confident, but I felt confident every single week.
I want to find that clip where Eric was like, if you're doing a parlay that's a negative number, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah. This one is the one.
We've been doing something wrong for the last
now we're
decade.
just gonna
So
try.
it's time to switch it up, all right?
Is this our first one? At
Yes,
minus?
very much
First
so.
minus
It might
money.
be, yeah.
God,
I'm sure people on Twitter are going to be very understanding.
I could not give 2 fucks.
I'm sure they're going to love it.
Let me tell you something. If we can get off the schneid with a minus parlay,
Then
there's something wrong.
I think this is the one.
And by the way, this card, it starts at like 1 p.m., right?
Yeah, it's great.
What's going on Saturday night? Is it college football or something? There's something that has to be going on for them to do it like that.
Got to get home for Thanksgiving.
Oh, I guess that's the one.
Maybe they're just like in anticipation of the World Cup, shut everything down.
Yeah, I doubt that.
As one does.
Prelims at 1, main card at 4, so it'll be done by 7. By the way, who just opened up a can?
That would be
whoop ass.
That's
Joe.
Frank.
What are you blaming me for?
That was a loud can.
Another one.
Look, I have a problem.
All right, so you guys feel good?
I feel great.
As good as one can.
Okay. By the way, before we let you go, Nurkic, do you want to, defend your point, your anti-World Cup stance?
What's there to defend? Oh, anti-World Cup. I mean, I'm not anti-World Cup. The point has always been it's harder to get people to gather culturally around events because of.
Does it feel like the World Cup might be the one outlier?
No, I mean, to an extent, right? Super Bowl, World Cup, there's certain things that people come together for. But like, if you look at the U.S. broadcast numbers from 2010 versus 2014 versus 2018, the number's going down. Like, it's just as this happens, people don't gather around the TV anymore. That's not how it works. Now,
are you saying for World Cup or for everything? 2010
World Cup.
Worth noting, 2018 U.S. didn't make it.
Yeah, and
so
no, I'm talking about the final. I'm talking about the final only.
Oh, right.
But either way, yeah, I mean, there's going to be tons of people streaming it. There's going to be tons of people watching it. But gone are the days of everybody sitting around the TV watching these things. It doesn't exist anymore. There's just too much stuff out there. There's more people with phones that can stream stuff though, so it balances out. But yeah, There's no cultural stuff like that where the whole world is gripped anymore. It just doesn't happen. But this is as close as it gets. This is a big event. Worth canceling plans for?
What plans? Maybe not. I'm not canceling nothing.
Canceling, altering.
It's just altering.
Shifting.
My country is going to be competing for the first time in 36 freaking years. You want me to be sitting here talking about Don Giacomo? Come on.
Yeah.
Right. No Don Giacomo slander, all
right? Will you be watching?
I'll check into it. Yeah.
We'll check in. Nurkic's going to have his face painted if they advance past the group stage.
No, definitely not. I mean, you know how passive I am on these Bills and Nottingham text threads.
Yeah.
Not into it.
By the way, I appreciate you're not into it rather than one of the members of the
I'm not
against
pretending.
us. Yeah.
True. Yeah, I'm not a turncoat, and I'm not pretending to be.
I can't believe that this is
on the team.
This isn't. It's not really new. It's just we're finally.
I also wouldn't call it a narrative.
We actually have another text thread where we talk about this.
I'm not surprised.
All right, thank you very much. Let's get GC's picks.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll run through them quickly.
Oh, take your time. We got a lot of time.
Oh, we do?
Yeah, I mean, Yair's coming in 14 minutes.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, let's kick our feet up and talk Bellator Chicago. Then,
let's do it.
First one up. I'm going to take Jordan Newman by KO TKO -110. I mean, if you just look at the guy that he's fighting. No disrespect to Jaden Talker, but I just think that Jordan Newman is a level above. D3 national champion in wrestling, D3 Wrestler of the Year in 2018. Talker, 2-2. He's been finished in both of his losses. His wins are against guys that are under 500. I mean, he's given a go at boxing. He's 0-4 there. He's given a go at grappling. He's 0-2 there. It feels as if Jordan Newman is a prospect that Bellator is trying to push along, and this is sort of a setup fight for him to display his skills. Next up, we've got Roman Feraldo by KO TKO. I'm not as confident in this one, but Roman Feraldo is 8-0 with every single win coming by knockout. It's the man that Dustin Poirier mentioned during his interview. He has crazy knockout power. He's the original owner of the War Hat. This is a step up in competition against Levon Chukeli. But I mean, the way that this dude can knock people out, I mean, he has hammers for hands, and you're still getting his knockout prop at plus money, which I feel like is his most likely path to victory. I will throw a half unit on it, give us a little entertainment.
That flat top, though, man, it's awesome.
Listen, man, I don't have as good of access to Bellator photos as I do the UFC.
That's not his actual haircut. Like you had to cut it.
No, yes, I had to cut it. It's a very dark background.
You should consider doing a flat top.
I appreciate it, Frank. I appreciate it, man. I'll hit you up next time for Bellator pictures. Let's get to the UFC, though. Let's kick it off. Flyweight under. Not much more needs to be said. We are right back on the horse after taking a few days off, even though these guys go to much more decisions than not. Charles Johnson, 6 of his last 7 wins are by finish. Zlagas, did get a finish recently in the UFC. He has also been finished in the UFC. Plus 200. I'm willing to take a shot. I'm not going to die on my flyweight unders. We go from a flyweight under to a heavyweight over. Chase Sherman, Waldo Cortez Acosta over 1.5. This one I actually do have, some statistical value to back it up. If you look at Sherman's record, 9 of his 13 fights in the UFC have gone over the 1.5. Cortez Acosta, 4 of his 8 pro fights have gone over the 1.5. And I think he's going to extend fights now that he's in the UFC. I mean, last time out, wasn't so easy to finish Jared Vandera. Boxed his face off, but wasn't able to get him out there. I think we can get to the over 7.5 minutes. It's going to be sketchy, though, because these dudes are most likely going to stand and trade the entire time in their heavyweights, so anything could happen, but it should be fun, and hopefully we do get to that point. Next up, Andre Fiallo, Muslim Salikov. I'm going to take this one to not go to a decision. Both time out, both these dudes got knocked out. Maybe they are going to be a little cautious, but just watching Andre Fiallo fight, this is going to be his 5th time fighting in the UFC this year. I mean, he comes to swang and bang, as Derek Lewis once said. He makes fights exciting. Only one has gone to a decision. And if you look at both these dudes, 21 pro fights for the both of them, 17 have not gone to a decision. You're giving me minus 155 on that. I'm going to hope that that someone gets put out, and I think someone does. So minus 155 there. Last but not least, I have no straight money line plays. That is one of the first time ever. I really do not like this card from a betting standpoint. But last but not least, Derek Lewis. KO TKO. Plus 230. I mean, I thought the number would be similar for Derek Lewis and Derek Lewis by KO, but you're getting a pretty big odds boost to take him by KO. So Sergey Spivak, he's probably, in the better shape, as of late as a fighter, coming off these wins. We've seen Derek Lewis struggle of late. But the thing is, Sergey Spivak, he can finish people, but the way that he finishes people is taking them down, submitting them, or ground and pounding them. He has no knockout wins by, just flat out killing someone. So I'm going to hope that Derek Lewis is not afraid to go in and trade with this guy, and he just bum rushes him and finds the kill shot. I mean, he's always live for a finish until he retires. So plus 230, with that being pretty much his only path to victory, I'll take one last ride with Derek Lewis and see what we can get out of it. I really hope that he does not go out sad on Saturday. I hope it doesn't look like his last couple of fights.
I like the pick. I think he turns back the clock.
Oh, I would love to see it. I would love to see it. 2 quick parlays for you. One has a lot that we have in our own. It's one that I do feel pretty good about. Usman Nurmagomedov, Jack Della Maddalena, and Louis Spivak under 4.5. That pays at minus 137. I am, loading up a decent amount of units on it, bigger than my normal bet, 3.5. But I feel all these have very strong chances of hitting. So I'll ride with that. And then, of course, we got to do it, Ariel. A little Bellator chalky mess that's just God. That I talk myself into. I'm like, there's no way this thing loses. These are just setup matches. There's just no way. And then every time Bellator bites me in the ass. I can, as confident as I am, I'm just as confident that someone is going to screw the pooch for me on this. But if we just go fighter by fighter, Jordan Newman, I already mentioned him, 4-0, D3 Wrestler of the Year in 2018, beast. The man he's fighting, Jaden Talker. He got KO'd by 2-4 Raven Baxter a few times out. He's 0-4 as a boxer. He's 0-2 in grappling. I just think this is a setup match for Jordan Newman. Archie Colgan, 5-0. D1 wrestler at Wyoming. Has fought some great competition, LFA, Eagle FC, Bellator. The man he's fighting, Jesse Hannum, big rig. 2-1. His 2 wins have come against 0-3 Casey Gillette and 1-43 Kenneth Allen. Lucas Brennan, Skywalker, he just has the grappling advantage. The man that he's fighting against got submitted by a body triangle. There was nothing locked in. I just don't know how he's going to deal with the jiu-jitsu of Lucas Brennan. And then Aliv, he's a Khabib product. I just think that Bellator is trying to push along these people from, Khabib's camp. I think he's going to get it done here against Sean Connor Fallon. And then last but not least, Usman Nurmagomedov. Pays out plus 127. We'll see what happens. We alluded to it earlier as well, the World Cup picks, but just to get an eye on it, Argentina, plus 550.
Oh, yeah.
France, plus 750.
Did I steal your thunder with this? I didn't even know you were doing
plus
this.
3,400. No, you didn't steal any thunder. I don't advise anyone telling this. And then, to qualify from the group stage parlay, United States, Denmark, Senegal, and then United States, Denmark, Senegal, and Switzerland.
You didn't, not even
no Canada.
No
Nope.
sprinkle.
Nope. Oh yeah, I forgot to show people. I mean, I'm gonna have to start rocking this during the World Cup. Like, should I take it down there? I mean,
Oh yeah,
Don't
because
take
that's
down the fourth wall.
that is because that's a Danish.
it is
jersey.
a Danish
Is it official?
jersey. I gotta get the Velcro off.
Is it official?
It's what official?
I mean, is it like a knockoff Redbubble one, or is it
No,
like
this
a
is
real deal
official.
Holyfield?
This is real. Christian Eriksen sent it to me.
Well, let's see.
I mean,
Yeah,
let's
right.
just
Christian
show the
Eriksen
back.
sent you a little
Let's just
bit.
show the back. My man
Let's-
Christian Eriksen. We'll get the Velcro off, and I'll start rocking it proper during the World Cup. But when you got
That's your
Eriksen on
squad?
side-
What if it's Denmark versus U.S.? Who are you rolling with?
I mean, the U.S.
I don't know. It's your guy. You seem to love him.
I think he loves me. We both look so similar. I mean, how could he not?
I'm trying. Oh, here it is. I'm trying to see when they're playing. When they're. Oh wow, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Denmark, Tunisia on Tuesday, November 22nd.
Yeah, you could have just asked. I would have told you.
Oh, you knew that? Sorry, my
Of course.
bad. Sorry.
Yeah.
Wow, what a day! What a day! Argentina, France. I just can't wait.
I can't wait, dude. I can't wait.
Can't wait. Can't wait for that Belgium Canada tilt next Wednesday at 2 p.m.
It's gonna be a good one. You nervous?
Very nervous. Yeah, tough way to start with Belgium. Would have been nice to
Romelu
ease into it with maybe a
Lukaku.
little. Well, look at you.
Rina.
Wow, look at you.
I mean, it's a tough matchup.
KDB. What do you know about KDB?
Oh man.
Come
No.
on.
Should be a good one. There we go. I mean, now we're really starting to come together. I guess I could have done this
Sure.
beforehand.
No, it's okay.
But yeah.
Frank, where's your family from again?
Honduras.
Honduras. Are they in the World Cup?
They didn't make it this time.
Yikes.
They made it more than Canada ever has. But
We're a what have you done for me lately kind of squad over here, okay?
great.
There we go.
There it is.
Look at that crest. I mean, can we talk about it?
Yeah, it's a nice
How good
crest.
does that look?
What does it say? Danska Pol Spill?
Something union.
Onion? Yeah,
I mean,
looks like onion. Hummel. Never heard of Hummel as a sponsor before. Or as
yeah, I'll be wearing this pretty often over the next few weeks. Ordered a sweater for Team USA. I already got my French jersey.
I'm surprised that you didn't put up the new Kaikar France picture.
Yes.
Let's give him a shout out.
Well, you grab your thing because
All
I
right.
got to grab mine.
I got this thing here. How about this? Isn't this incredible?
We didn't rehearse this.
No, we didn't rehearse it. Not everything can be rehearsed, Frank. Okay, we're very spur of the moment. Could we go to this shot? Yeah, let's go to this shot right here. Look at this. This is a Dan Hooker skateboard.
That's sick.
Yeah, that's
signed by Dan Hooker. Who sent us this?
our man Fight Bro Customs.
Fight Bro Customs.
I wouldn't
recommend
recommend
that right.
riding on that, though. There's no wheels.
A Naru from Fight Bro Customs.
I mean, this thing is unbelievable. It's signed by Hooker, real signature right here. Dan Hangman Hooker, and it's absolutely beautiful. I mean,
it's beautiful and it's signed. Yes, Anaru Kamri from Fight Bro Customs. He also sent us a signed Dan Hooker card and a signed Kai Kara France picture. I mean, this guy, like, you talk about mentions, you talk about legends. I mean, look at this. This is unbelievable. Yes, I need to, after the show, I'm going to replace my old Kai Kara France picture with this new one. I'm also with the flag, the red and black flag. It's absolutely tremendous. I mean, I can't think of
Is that a
enough.
signed card or just a card?
No, it's signed by Dan Hooker.
Wow.
Yeah, it's kind of.
Who are these nice people that are just sending us gifts?
You can see that. You can see the gold signature.
Why do they do that?
I don't know. They're just incredibly nice people, and I was like, please let me pay you for this.
When you were doing game night, were people sending you things?
Oh, of course. Come on.
They were sending you like corn from Iowa and stuff like that.
Yeah, we had a few, Aussie listeners.
Yeah, I bet. Well, it's incredible. And does he have a website or something? Could we plug something for the guy?
Fight Bro Customs on Instagram. Fight Bro Customs.
Bro.
Yeah, Fight Bro Customs. And then fightbrocustoms.com. I mean, all of his stuff is amazing. Like, it looks like he makes a lot of like autographed, custom designed things. Like, he has a City Kickboxing shirt that has everyone on it with like Eugene, Izzy, Dan, Volk, Brad Riddell, Blood Diamond, Olberg. Like, this guy, it's almost like he makes merch for like City Kickboxing stuff.
Oh, really? I wonder if he's an official designer or whatever you say. Licensor.
I don't know, but it's incredible. Fight Bro Customs, Naru Kamri. I mean, absolutely.
And by the way, sent that from New Zealand?
Sent it from New Zealand.
That probably costs like a couple hundy.
I was going to say it was not cheap to ship it. The price was on it, and I had forgotten about it. He told me about it like a few weeks ago. I had forgotten about it, and when it showed up, I was so hyped to open it up. I mean, blown away, to say the least.
Well, thank you to him. Appreciate it very much. That's a very kind gift. In a matter of moments, we're going to be joined by Yair Rodriguez. By the way, did you see the Dana White Power Slap press conference?
Yeah. I can't wait for that.
What is going on? They're on TBS.
Yeah, that's big. You think we're going to get lines on it?
No way. I think it's already been taped. They taped it several months ago at the Apex. Yes. More Apex. The rest of the world is going to see the brilliance of the magic, the pageantry of the Apex.
Okay, so every time we kind of talk bad on the Apex, there's someone that comes out of the woodwork and is just like,
I like it.
Well, I understand it's bad on TV, but going to it is like the most magical experience ever.
I don't buy that first.
I think I have to go. I think it's a bucket list thing now.
By the way, you can go.
I know.
But those tickets are insane. It's like $2,000 or something like that. You can go. I don't buy that for 1 second. Yeah, cool. It's great to be at a fight where you're that close and you can hear the punches, the kicks, you can hear the corner. What are we going to do? Compare that to a sold-out MSG? Compare that
it's
to
really $2,000?
Oh, it's insane. Yeah.
Well, I'd rather have $2,000 seats at a pay-per-view then.
1,000%. It's not even close. Yeah, no. What I love are the fans who are like, "Oh, you're crazy. I feel like I can appreciate it so much more. I feel like I get a greater sense of the kicks, the punches, the impact." Bullshit. You couldn't get that sense when you were watching Poirier and Chandler on Saturday? Come on, stop it with this. It's soulless. It's void of any sort of emotion, theater, hoopla, buzz, energy. It has none of that. None of that. It's the equivalent of watching ESPN2 kickboxing from 1993 at 1 a.m. You have no connection to these people, no interest in these people.
There's at least stakes in it.
There's no stakes. It ruins all
I bet on it.
Well, maybe that. All right, let's say hello to our next guest. Thank you very much, Mr. GC. Very excited to talk to our next guest. He's one of the best fighters in the featherweight division, and he's finally going to get a chance to fight for the UFC featherweight title. It goes down February 12th, UFC 284 in beautiful Perth, Australia. He's El Pantera himself. He's Yair Rodriguez. Let us say hello to Yair Rodriguez, who's joining us right now.
He just dropped off the Zoom.
After that big intro, I'm going to have to do it all over again?
Yeah, that was a fantastic
Perfect.
intro.
I said his name perfectly. But, I will admit, when I said Perth, is it Perth, Western Australia? Yeah, it's Western.
We're pushing him through.
What are you doing? You're efforting?
He's coming right now. So
okay.
Do it again.
Let me know. I don't want to waste it. I want to make sure
stand
that.
by.
All right, yeah, because if I do it again, that he doesn't hear, and he's like, what was the big deal? Yes, it's Perth, Western Australia. It sits where the Swan River meets the southwest coast, is what I'm told. Anyway, he's one of the best fighters in the featherweight division, and on February 12th, he finally gets a crack at UFC Gold. He's going up against Josh Emmett for the interim 145-pound title. He is the pride of Mexico. He is El Pantera himself, Yair Rodriguez. Let us say hello to Yair Rodriguez. Hello, Yair. How are you, my friend?
Hey, what's up, brother? How are you, man?
Yes.
Good, thank you.
It's good to see you. It's good to talk to you. Thank you for doing the show. I appreciate it, as always. So congratulations on getting this fight. Could I ask you, are you happy that you are getting this fight? Because we know that you were trying to get Volkanovski for the undisputed title. So how do you feel about getting an interim title fight instead?
Well, of course, I feel happy. It's an opportunity that I think nobody should say no to. It's a really big opportunity for me, and I'm really happy for it. Of course, I will rather fight for the actual belt instead of fighting for like interim belt. But this is the situation that I'm in right now, and I don't really mind it. It's I have a pretty tough opponent in front of me that I have tons of respect for him, and I just have to go and do what I do best, that is fighting, and get the win.
initially, were you disappointed when it seemed like we were going in the direction of Volkanovski versus Makhachev? Were you disappointed that you weren't going to get that shot?
I was expecting to have it, but I kind of see it coming, so I didn't really care about it. I was okay, whatever it happens. I knew that I had the opportunity to fight for the belt anytime soon, and I didn't really care. I wish both of the guys the best. Hopefully, I don't have nothing against Islam, but I hope Volkanovski wins.
You hope he wins?
That would mean a lot for me. Yeah, I hope he wins. So whenever I have the opportunity to fight him, it will be a bigger achievement.
Okay, I was wondering if you would say the opposite, because if he loses, then he definitely comes down to 45 and you can fight him. But I guess you want to be the first guy to beat him, right?
Of course, that will be amazing for me. I think I have the skills and the mindset. So, it's just a matter of time. I know he's going to come down to the 45 again, and it's just a matter of time. We're gonna face each other.
Do you think he wins?
I think he has possibilities. I think it's going to be a little hard, as I said before in the interviews, because we know Islam is really, really good at what he does, and it's really dangerous. But I think if Volkanovski goes with a good strategy, I think he can get the win.
Now, what about Emmett instead of Allen? How do you feel? Do you feel like they got the right guy? It seemed like everyone thought that you would be in this discussion, but it was up to Allen or Emmett, Arnold Allen or Josh Emmett. They went with Josh Emmett. How do you feel about that choice?
I mean, I just think that anybody that deserves the title shot, like these two guys, or anybody that deserves the title shot, they're good enough. As we're in the top of the division. None of us are like bad at all. We're good at what we do. And I think, I think Arnold deserved the opportunity as well. I don't know. They just offered me Josh Emmett, and I said yes right away, because it's like I tell you, you can't say no to an opportunity like this.
Sure.
You only have to move forward with it, and do the best, and that's it.
Did you have a preference?
No, really. Like I said before, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
I'm not in a rush to fight anyone, because at the end of the day, I'm sure I'm gonna face, if not anyone, almost everyone in the division. So
Sure.
It's just a matter of time, of when.
Okay. All right. So you're okay with that. What about the fight being in Australia? How did you feel about that?
It's I'm planning everything from now. I'm just it's gonna take a little bit of time to get to adjust the time, because it's like 14 hours more than what I live right now.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be a little hard. I'm trying to get there weeks before, but I still need to work on my Australian visa.
Oh.
And my team, everybody has to work on it. So as soon as I can get that done, I think I'll be there as soon as possible, so I can get adjusted to the time better and do a better performance.
So you may go like a month before or something like that, so that you're fully acclimated?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. It's going to be a little hard because I think the visa takes like 2 months.
Oh, wow.
Something like that. We're so I think if we can rush it or something like that, I think I'll be happy to go there as early as possible. I don't know, 2, 3 weeks, 4 weeks will be amazing, but who knows, until I get the visa.
For you, to finally be able to call yourself champion, do you think that you will feel the same if you win the interim belt as you would have if it was the undisputed belt, or do you view this more as like the bridge to finally get the undisputed title?
No, this is not the undisputed. I understand this is just like the bridge, or like the final decision to go and fight for that belt, or in case that Volks decides not to come back to 145, for some reason, then the belt becomes to whoever wins. In this case, it's me. But that's what I think. It's just I won't feel like I'm the champion if I don't really get to fight for the interim belt, for the actual belt.
When did you find out that this was happening?
Saturday.
How did you find out? They called you, or how did it go down?
My manager called me and say, hey, they are offering Josh Emmett for the interim belt, and they want to do the fight in Australia. They want to, start promoting the fight from now, and they want to, they are going to say it on air, like
Yeah.
on the event. So I was like, okay, so that's a decision that you gotta make right away. So I was like, okay, I'm okay with it.
You
It's
said
in
yeah.
Australia, it's okay. Yes, right away. Yeah.
Didn't think about it.
No, like why?
Yeah. This is what you want. This is the
just-
closest thing to what you wanted.
Yeah, this is the closest things to what I wanted, and it's just that's it. We gotta do what we gotta do, and this is the right move. This is the right way, and we're gonna make this happen.
I remember when there was like a back and forth on Twitter. You said to Alex, I'm paraphrasing, but like, are you a man of your word? Are you gonna like honor the deal that we had? Did you feel as though that he made you a promise that he would fight you next? Is that what you were referring to?
No, not a promise. We only had a talk. I talked to his manager and stuff, and it's like, dude, will you really go to Australia to fight this guy? I was like, yeah, let's go. Will you really? Yeah, like this is what we do. Like, why would I say no?
Yeah.
So it's just like, I thought that we kind of had a like not a deal, but like kind of talk about it, and I thought that he was going to say, okay, let's go, but he rather you go for the 55. Like I don't blame him. That's probably a bigger opportunity than fight me, and I don't blame him. I think he's doing the right moves on his career, and I wish him the best. That's it.
When did that conversation happen?
In Dallas.
Oh, okay.
Dallas for the Moreno fight.
Yeah.
It was like a short conversation. It wasn't really like that we sit down and talk about it. It was just as a short conversation between mostly the manager and I, and the manager and him. And I just talk a little bit to Volkanovski.
Right. That was
I
right.
wish them the best and stuff.
That was right after your Ortega fight too.
And right after my Ortega fight as well, yeah.
Yeah. And the time, that was a short fight. Perfect world, like it's 7 months between fights for you. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay. I'm always like hurt after my fights. This is probably one of the first times that I don't really get hurt in one of my fights because of whatever happened in the fight. And I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, and I think I have enough time to get everything ready for Australia. So yeah, I feel good.
Did you watch his last fight against Calvin Kattar?
I didn't really watch it. No.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't even remember where I was, but I don't remember watching it. I watch highlights and stuff, so I can really talk about it. I need to go and watch it. I need to go and study it, and I need to do that anyways at some point. So that's why I don't really care about watching the fights. I'm not like the kind of guy that have to be there watching the fight in the moment. Just I take my time. I don't really put a lot of pressure on me because of anything, and I know whenever I have the opportunity to fight one guy, I'll find the time to sit down and watch, analyze the fights, and that's it.
The reason I was asking was it was a bit of a controversial fight, so I was wondering if you thought he did enough to actually win the fight. But you haven't seen the fight in its entirety, so you don't really have a take on that.
No, I have seen the comments, but like at the end of the day, everybody has an opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to say much more about it. Everybody has an opinion, and that's it. But I'll have my own opinion when I watch the fight, and I'll get to see what happened in my own discretion.
And are you familiar with him as a fighter? Like, have you seen some of his other fights? And if so, what do you make of him as a fighter? Like, what do you think are his strengths and keys to beating him?
I get the opportunity to train once or twice with him when I train Alpha Male for a couple of weeks. I got to see him there a couple of times, train with him a couple of times, and I remember. I think he's a really strong fighter. I think he always like to push forward, and like he's a power fighter. He's like power puncher. I always move forward. He has a pretty good boxing. His wrestling and jiu-jitsu are pretty good, and that's it. I think he's a complete fighter. It's a little like a little shorter than me, so I think I have the advantage of the distance. But I will have to be really careful with him with his punch.
Did you spar him?
It was like a light sparring, like not even like sparring. It was like drilling, not sparring.
Okay, nothing crazy. So nothing that you can take from that experience and apply it to this training camp or this fight, or maybe yes.
I wouldn't say that. Maybe just visualizing him in front of me and stuff. That kind of I can use that, and then part from there. But
Okay.
not much really.
Do you think, you've had a real kind of roller coaster of a ride of a career, and we've been following you for such a long time. To be in this spot on the verge of winning a UFC title, interim or not, is a testament to you, sticking through it all and fighting through it all and overcoming it all. What do you think that moment will feel like if all goes, according to plan for you on February 12th? Like, do you think those emotions will come back? I mean, we remember you talking about having no money when you first came on The Ultimate Fighter and winning in Mexico. It's been quite the journey for you. Are you even allowing yourself to think about what that will feel like, or do you not go there?
No, I'm not even focusing on that yet. I'm just trying to focus on what I have to do for now. I'm gonna take it easy. I'm focusing on winning. That's 100% as it always is. But I want that to be a surprise. When that happens, I want that to be a surprise, and and let's see how I react.
You want the feeling to be a surprise.
Yeah, I want the feeling to be a surprise.
Okay. I'm wondering if you'll celebrate with any of the horses, because I've seen on Instagram you do these things with horses where they dance. What is going on over here? You're like on the horse and the horse is dancing. What is that?
Yeah, it's just some of my friends, they have a ranch where they have these Frisian horses.
Okay.
Like they're like dancing horses or whatever.
I've never seen this before. It's unbelievable. They're actually dancing the horse. We're showing it right now, by the way, from your Instagram. Thank you for this, Pantera UFC. So the audience is seeing it. The horses are actually dancing.
Yeah, they're dancing.
How are they dancing?
It's pretty amazing,
Yes.
So it's like a long process, because these kind of horses, they're like really big, but they're really like humble when it comes to teaching them and stuff. And there is like a process behind of months and months and everyday work for them. And it's incredible, I never had the opportunity to mount one of those horses before, but they kind of teach me how to do it. And I mount horses since I was like a little baby.
Oh wow!
So I have experience mounting, and that was a really, really sick experience for me. It was amazing.
This is in Mexico?
Yeah, it's close to Mexico. It's like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half away from Mexico. It's a ranch that they specialize on Frisian horses.
Wow. And you've been riding horses since you were a baby?
Yeah, since I was a baby.
Where would you do this?
In my hometown. Like, remember I always say that I grew up in like a ranch and stuff.
Yeah.
It was literally a ranch, and I used to I grew up like taking care of sheep and stuff, like in the in the open and stuff, because my dad always had like a little ranch, with animals and stuff, and I always used to go and take care of them.
You would take care of the sheep as a little kid?
Yeah, as a kid, yeah.
And you clean up and all that stuff, all the poop and all that?
Yeah, everything.
Oh, come on, really?
Oh. Yeah, like my dad was like, yeah, you gotta do this. Like my brother and I, my dad with me, and like he always teaches how to work, like hard work and stuff, So I'm not afraid of anything, any of that, I'm not afraid of like get some dirt on my hands.
Yeah. Stuff. Does your family still have a ranch now?
Yeah, we don't have like much animals like before, like a couple of porks right there, like chicken and one horse and stuff. Like it's just super small. My dad likes it, so. It's like I don't know how to say it, like a way out for him, like just like a hobby,
an escape, yeah,
like an escape of everything, So he always goes there, It's like his hobby, what he loves to do.
And would you like to own your own ranch?
Yeah, one day, yeah, I would like to do that. Yeah, I think I still have stuff to do before I do that.
Yes,
because it's not cheap, but yeah, one day I will.
And by the way, when you're on the horse and he's dancing, are you not afraid that you're going to fall off?
No.
I mean, they're going like...
No, I like it. I like it. I like whenever like the horse is aggressive and he's jumping and stuff. Like I like that.
It's incredible. I've never seen anything. Is there a specific song that they have to listen to? Like, or are they just trained to dance to any type of song?
No, like you actually make the horse move like you want him to move.
Oh, really?
So he will do different kind of steps and stuff. He will dance different rhythms and move different ways. And I put that song like on the background, but it wasn't really a song in there when I was dancing with the horse. He was just moving as I told him to move.
Wow, that is amazing, man. That is really impressive. Well, it's very exciting. You're getting this big opportunity, interim title fight, February 12th, on the same card as Alex, which I think is interesting as well, that they put you guys on the same card. Like, neither of you guys have, any sort of ties to Australia, but they're putting you on that card, which I think is really interesting. And it's a big, maybe because they want you close by, right? I know Alex spoke about it recently, but this fight could have happened anywhere. It could have happened in Las Vegas the following month. I think that's an interesting thing, but you don't care. You don't mind. You're going there. You're getting your...
No, I think it's interesting. It's going to be a pretty good test for me and see how I react. And, I have only fight in the US and Mexico. And I have never fight outside the US and Mexico. And that's it. So it's going to be a great opportunity for me to see how I, how I work.
How do you think you win? How do you think you win? What are you feeling right now?
I think I win. How? I haven't really visualized that yet. I think it's pretty quick to say something. I have to analyze, and like I told you, watch some videos, analyze the fights, and see the openings and stuff that he has, and watch more than anything the mistakes that I'm doing on my fights, so I don't do the same mistakes, and I take advantage of what he's doing wrong, and that's it.
Okay, good luck, my friend. Happy for you. Big opportunity. I wish you the best. Thank you for coming on, and good luck in this training camp. And hopefully you get to go to Australia soon to, prepare for the big fight and be acclimated, because it's a big time difference. Obviously, it's like, I think 13 hours, 14 hours, something crazy like that. So important to get there early and settled.
Okay, yeah. That's it, bro. Thank you so much for the interview. I'm really happy to talk to you always, and thank you all the people for the support.
Yes, much love. Thank you, Yair. All the best to you. Take care. There he is, Yair Rodriguez. Great stuff from him. Appreciate him stopping by. Just a moment. Just reading something here. Yeah, this is good. What a legend Yair Rodriguez is, and I'm looking forward to him getting this opportunity. I remember when he threw up in Mexico after one of his early fights there, and talked about how he had very little money to his name, and not to see him on the verge of winning a title, a big opportunity for him. And then, as he said, and I think as Emmett said as well, I like this. It's a bridge to the. It's a bridge to the real title. It's a bridge to getting that big fight. It's a bridge to fighting Alex Volkanovski. So I'm looking forward to that. February 12th, Australia, Perth, UFC 284. Card coming together. They've added a few names. Should be interesting. The first couple of UFC events are already, UFC pay-per-views of 2023 are coming together. And I'm looking forward. I'm trying to figure out the situation here on the fly. As you can tell, I'm not doing a great job.
Doing an excellent job.
How's this for you? Well, now we have some clarity as to why Ash had to cancel. I don't know. Did you guys see this?
No, not me. At least.
Oh, Casey just sent it to me. So TMZ is reporting, and I confirmed it to a degree. I'm trying to do this all in real time, but this is according to TMZ, that Israel Adesanya was arrested Wednesday afternoon for criminal possession of a weapon at JFK Airport in New York City, TMZ Sports has learned. After the UFC superstar was allegedly busted while going through security with metal knuckles. I guess that's brass knuckles or metal knuckles. Yeah.
Paperweights.
The arrest was made. This is the crazy part. The arrest was made by the Port Authority Police Department near the TSA screening area near the American Airlines terminal at around 1:57 p.m. So that was 1:57 p.m. And Alex told me at 2:47 that Ash was out, and he said that there was a reason, and this is apparently the reason. Brass knuckles are illegal Class A misdemeanor in the state of New York. It is also illegal to carry them on your person or in your carry-on bag. It's unclear where the alleged brass knuckles were stored. Remember we were talking about the sword that he was gifted? Golly, good thing he didn't bring that. It's unclear if cops will issue Adesanya a desk appearance ticket or if he'll remain in custody. Of course, Adesanya isn't from the U.S. He lives in New Zealand. If ultimately charged and convicted, Adesanya could face up to 1 year in jail plus fines. I mean, it feels like the kind of thing. It's like I was going through TSA a couple of weeks ago, and I had toothpaste in my little baggie thing. You know, you just take the toothpaste and you move on, right?
And that's what you should do.
Feels like the kind of thing you should do is be like, yo, bro, you had brass knuckles in your thing. Like, can you
just not do that?
Yeah.
And be like, oh, these paperweights? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let me throw this out.
Yeah. I mean, he's more, you know, he's one of the most dangerous human beings on the planet. What about this headline here from Damon Martin of MMA Fighting? Nevada Athletic Commission chairman asks UFC exec, will you make sure no one dies in Power Slap League? Golly, what a question.
What a headline.
During one exchange at a commission meeting on Wednesday, NAC chairman Stephen Klubeck point blank asked Hunter Campbell, will you make sure no one dies? Campbell responded, that is priority 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That goes without saying. Honestly, one of the reasons we tested this was to really understand firsthand in person the health and safety aspect of the sport. We have a high level of comfort following that, working extensively with the commission to make sure that we believe that safely. Klubeck continued, you will make sure that no one has severe brain injuries going forward? I mean, how can they know? That's correct. How will they be able to monitor that? Are they going to monitor that for the rest of their lives? That's the other reason why working with you and Executive Director Jeff Mullen, Chairman, we put the health and safety requirements in place that are above and beyond basically what any other commission in the country would require. We were talking a little bit about this. I don't know. It's sort of like bare knuckle to me, like just not my thing. And this is just like pure violence. And again, as I said, and I would say this, you know, if they were involved or not, I don't know how you could be a promoter for a sport and say safety is paramount, and then also promote another quote unquote sport where there is no defense. Like you are getting nailed and you just got to take it. The weight classes are consistent with MMA. But, you know, call me crazy. I don't know how. Oh, here are the defenses. Flinching, blocking, delay of match. That's how you defend. Okay. How do you block? Can you block with the other hand? What do you know about? Do you think there'll be lines for this, GC, if it's an actual live thing? Maybe the ones that they taped back in the day are actually were just like a pilot, and then it's actually going to be live. What do you think?
I imagine maybe their championships will be live.
Yeah, maybe. What do you make of this Izzy situation?
It's crazy. My jaw dropped when you started reading.
Oh, you didn't know about this?
No.
Oh, yeah.
I knew about the situation, you know, something happened with someone on the team, but I didn't think it was Israel Adesanya getting arrested for having brass knuckles. No, that's crazy.
Man. Joe brought up a good point of why he would need brass knuckles.
Well, it's not. I don't think it's that he needs them. It's that, look, he said someone gifted him a sword.
Right, but
I think he's just
not trying to play devil's advocate. But that's something you check in your bag, not like walk through a metal detector with.
Yeah. Is it possible he just didn't know? I don't know. I mean,
that's what I said. He has a lot of pockets. I'll tell you that. So he might have forgotten.
Yeah.
It feels like the thing that you said, where it's just like, oh, yo, you got brass knuckles in here. Like, throw them out or you can't go through. It's like, oh, my bad, man. Yeah, throw them out.
Yeah, and I'm sure they're probably very expensive, but arrested. I mean, I guess they're a weapon. And there's no, it's not like they could say like, yo, you know, you're Israel. But I guess they can say that. I don't know. That is weird. I've never seen that before. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I doubt he was bringing them on to actually rough someone up.
No shot.
But I guess the rules are the rules. So we'll see. I hope he's all right, and I hope it's rectified. I mean, imagine being detained for that. It's like going on the you know, one time I actually had little like nail scissors. And they took it away.
Oh, wow.
I didn't put up a fight. And they're like, you know, this is very dangerous what you just did. Like, you had nail scissors, very reckless. And I said, listen, my bad. And they just took them away. And they actually were scissors that meant a lot to me. So I sort of sympathize with the situation. Let me go back to the questions, can I? And then we'll wrap this bad boy up. Tony McGregor is asking, Dear Ariel, Don Tony here. I'm wondering, what did you make of Stan the Man's question / approach to Dana at the post-fight presser last weekend? Also, when he referenced you to Dana, I was anticipating that Dana may bring forth some unwarranted name-calling, his usual go-to scumbag, goofball, etc. However, to my surprise, you could see a few veins bulge in his forehead. He refrained from name-calling. Maybe that means that brighter days are ahead. It got Don Tony thinking, ever since the High Road Helwani era ended and the Helwani era began, Dana, to the best of my knowledge, hasn't trashed you publicly. He spelled it thrashed. Maybe he meant thrashed? Trashed. Have you found since this new glorious era that people don't mess with the king anymore? I mean, Don Money, you said it, not me. What did I say around this time last year? What did I say a little over a year ago? You come at the king, you best not miss. They don't want this smoke. Because, listen, I may not be the strongest guy in the biz. I may not be the toughest guy in the biz. But verbally, I mean, it's, you know, it's 10-7s all day. It's very, very one-sided. And so I think that that's the fear. If I'm being honest, I saw the clip that you're talking about. I think there's a very good chance he had no idea who the question asker was referencing. They were talking about the Stipe thing and the John Jones thing, and that was a real thing, and I don't even think he really refuted it. I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's like these little sort of like intricacies of the relationship. You guys love this shit. I could not care less. Could not care less. Not could care less. That's one that always...
Thanks for, yeah.
Yeah, it gets me really all fired up. It's all good. I'm doing my thing. They're doing their thing. We're all very happy. They're sleeping on that side of the bed. I'm sleeping on this side of the bed. And guess what? One day we'll converge and we'll make sweet love to each other. Well, no, I'm just kidding. I didn't. I wasn't sure.
Think you were gonna
I wasn't sure where to go.
You just say one day we'll appreciate that we were in the same bed together.
You know what? That's very nice of you, Frank. I appreciate that. The way you put that together, that was good. Yeah, it's all good. And I don't know. I don't consume all the interviews, so I'm not sure. Has he? Has he not? I mean, usually someone sends them to me, but I have not seen. So maybe you're right. Maybe there's something to it. Tanner. Hey, Ariel. Tanner here. Quick question. I will be a first-time dad early April. Wow. Congrats, Mazel Tov. What are 2 do's and 2 don'ts post-delivery to support my daughter/wife? Oh, okay. I was like, what? Am I the only one who thought that was weird?
I had to take a double
What? I was like, what are you talking about, bro?
Maybe start by referring to my daughter and wife.
Yeah, that is weird.
That's a to-do.
I was like, wait a second. Your daughter's your wife? What the hell, man? Daughter/wife? Well, I would be very helpful, very considerate, It's not about you. Those first couple of months are not about you. I mean, you do whatever you need to do. Wake up, help out, go the extra mile, make dinner, cook dinner, clean up. I mean, it's nothing. Like nothing can compare to what they go through. So just be extremely unselfish, be extremely supportive. Just be there. It's really like I've said this to other, soon to be parents as well. Like you just have to be there. You just have to be present. You just have to be available. You just have to be unselfish. That's really the best advice that I can give you. It is not about you. You're just along for the ride. And even the baby and the mother are going to have a different kind of connection than you are going to have. Like, I mean, like the baby's going to almost like latch on to the mother, for comfort, for shelter, for food, and you don't provide that same refuge. So just be aware of all of that. But it's a great time. It's an unbelievable time. I'll never forget it. I think about it often. I see other people going through it for the first time, and there's a part of me that's like reminiscing and nostalgic, and I see the way older people look at me and my kids, and they're 10, 8, and 6. And now I'm the same way looking at other people who are new parents. And I start to think about my time as a new parent. And then I know in 10 years, I'll be looking at the ones who are 10, 8, and 6. And it all goes so fast. And just try to appreciate every moment and be present and be as helpful as possible. So I wish you guys the best. Muscamente MMA asks, Hola Ariel, question for GC. Am I dreaming this? Or did you get your BJJ purple belt within the last few months? If so, congratulations. And how is it going? And if not, would you or any other member of the team considering practicing BJJ or any other martial art? Thanks, and big shout out to the whole team from the Heelist to the Helwanis, or excuse me, the Heelist to the Heelwanis.
Heliest.
P.S. I think we got the most mysterious Frank moment ever in the Chris Gutierrez interview. How he covered the camera for a second just gave me the chills. Tell us about that, Frank.
When I walked in front of the camera. Did you see this guy's avatar as well?
Is that your back?
I don't know whose back that is, but it's weird.
That is weird. GC, do you have your purple belt?
He's not mistaken. I did receive a purple belt, but it was my verdict purple belt for correctly predicting so many fights. Brown belt soon to come. No, I did not get my BJJ belt. I cannot claim that. I have respect for anyone who's done that.
Isn't that a weird thing to dream of you getting your BJJ? Like, what is the?
I've also had that dream.
No, he didn't have that dream. He saw me do the purple belt on the show. I just don't think he heard that. It was
okay.
Yeah.
Or maybe he confused you with Alex Pereira, who just got his brown belt.
Shout out. I'll soon be joining him with my verdict brown belt.
That's right. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to practice as soon as Frank starts.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll go together.
You guys going in together?
Just waiting on him.
Okay.
Who do you think will get black first?
You.
Thanks. I appreciate that.
I believe in you.
There's a lot of honor that goes with BJJ. It's not just...
Oh, yeah. Can you hear that one?
What are you doing this for? Do you need a doctor?
It just starts to get...
but we don't have to do it right on the mic.
I mean, it's kind of cool.
MMA Hour with ASMR.
Hugo knows. Hey, Ariel and crew. Hope you guys can help me in this situation. Last Monday was my birthday, and I started it off right with the CKB takeover show, and the birthday wishes just kept piling in. Yet, as the day went by, no response from my best friend. I held back from reposting stories on social media. The day ended, no response. Went to dinner with my girlfriend and reposted her story, and he saw and wished me a belated happy birthday. This isn't the first time he forgets my birthday. We're supposedly quote-unquote boys, been there for each other through thick and thin. Would remember, yet he forgets about his boys. Oh, for other people he would remember. I think Lewis made a couple edits here. Oh, trim for time. There, I see it. Because there's like some blank spaces. What a guy, Lewis. For other people he would remember, yet he forgets about his boy. That's what hurts. I've yet to speak to him and reply to his belated B-Day message. Wow, left him on scene. What should I say? Am I being exaggerated, too petty? Let me know. What do you guys think? So to recap, because I had to kind of read it on the fly, basically his best friend forgot to wish him a happy birthday and only did it as he started posting things on social media. Is that basically the gist?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, so he eventually did wish him a happy birthday?
Yeah, but only once he started reposting the stories.
Man, I don't know. Who knows what's going on in his best friend's life? Is he busy?
True.
Something going on?
Honestly, it's actually kind of funnier when your friends forget and you're like, oh, thanks for noticing. What I usually say is there's a 10 a.m. cutoff, and if you don't get it in, it doesn't count.
Whoa,
Like 10 a.m.?
10 a.m., yeah.
No shot, man.
I mean, you want these people, the first thing they do in the morning, to be thinking of
that's
your
weird,
birthday.
right?
Listen, put a calendar reminder, 8 a.m. By the way, I don't want to call. Don't want to call. Don't want to FaceTime.
You don't want to call.
I do not want anything, but I want to know that you remembered and that you are putting me as a top priority on that day. You're sending me a text, have a great day, and that's it. And maybe we'll talk
Scrolling
later,
through
but
my
probably
phone
not. I couldn't be bothered.
To see what time you sent me happy birthday.
When's your birthday again? It's Memorial Day. It's a Memorial Day time. What? I remember. It's around that time, right? That's when you had the birthday that you claimed you invited us to, but no one actually showed up because you didn't invite anyone to it.
It may have been around that time.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'd like. I'd like a text, and that's it. Now, if you miss the cutoff, I'll just make fun of you and be like, I'm a better friend than you. Move it along.
10:30, someone sends you one. Move it along.
You missed the cutoff.
If it's 10:30, I'll make the comment. I'll make the 10 a.m. comment.
Wow. I mean, I would feel like 2 p.m. is better when
10 a.m. you're in the midst of the day. Like you're already at work. You're already flowing. If you didn't get it in by then, ta-da.
I mean, you have a summer birthday.
Oh, this is too
slow
bad.
mornings. Please tell us, Frank.
My phone only goes back so far because Ariel had to get a new number.
Sorry, there's a lot.
Which weirdly,
this
day was my mother's birthday.
This is a weird thing because there's like a developing story happening right now involving one of the biggest stars in the sport.
Is there an update?
Yes, I just got a statement. In summation, New York Jackman says, this is how big of a mess this situation is. New York Rick says, New York Jackman, be a grown man and get over it. Who cares? Don't you have something to do with your life? That's his response to Hugo Knows, which I think is a bit harsh. I mean, here's Hugo.
That's harsh. I mean,
yeah.
What's going to happen when, his daughters are through the teenage years? There's
Open
a lot of
up, New York,
dramatics.
Yeah. Here's a statement from Tim Simpson, who is Izzy's manager. Israel was handed a gift by a fan, which he put in his luggage. When flagged at the airport, Israel quickly disposed of the item and cooperated with authorities. He has complied accordingly. With that, the matter was dismissed, and he is on his way home.
Well, that's good news.
Oh.
So, yeah, TMZ distorting the facts.
I mean, it seems like they
definitely got the clicks on the whole arrested thing. And
I have more breaking news on this end. Going back to the texts.
Yeah?
Wani's birthday text
I
received at 9:19 a.m.
Oh, man.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun,
All right, well, with this window, do you appreciate like a midnight text after you're already
12:01? Is that what we're looking for? Does it seem also kind of like you're phoning it in?
Yeah.
Damn.
I mean, so you're looking like 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. window.
By the way, I have to say, this is pretty fucked up from TMZ, right?
Yeah,
I mean, like Jesus
the more I
Christ.
think about it.
The more I think about it, let's just read how they wrote this and
Start with the headline.
But again, like, and the UFC loves this is like so. The UFC loves TMZ. They love TMZ because they're so obsessed with getting the rub from TMZ that they will parade all their fighters to TMZ. I mean, Izzy talked to them before. I saw the interview, and there's good people I'm sure that work there, and yet This is how you treat one of the stars. Israel Adesanya arrested for brass knuckles at JFK Airport. Israel Adesanya was arrested Wednesday afternoon. Arrested for criminal possession of a weapon at JFK Airport in NYC, TMZ. But no mention of any of this other stuff here. And in addition to that, you even put in like the charge of convicted. Like to me, I would love to know, and this is all happening in front of our eyes, between how long was he quote unquote arrested and let go? Because how do you put the story up at 1:04 p.m. Pacific, which is 4:04, and not know? So he got arrested here. It says 1:57 Eastern. So that's like a 2+ hour difference. Was he detained for those 2 hours? Because the way it's, I mean, this is crazy.
I'm sure somebody on the floor was like, "Yeah, just still run it. It's fine."
I mean, it feels a little reckless. No, I mean, look, I'm not trying to dismiss the fact that this happened. It happened. You got to report the news. But if it really happened like in as quick of a time frame as being presented here, it feels like an incomplete story here. No, like you see this. Casey sent me this. I was like, Israel Adesanya arrested for brass knuckles at JFK, and you're like, all right. By the way, look at the picture that they chose. Do you think that's
I still haven't
coincidence?
pulled it up. Can you show us?
Oh, well. The picture, I mean, I could send it to you.
Now. Oh my gosh.
He looks like he's drunk.
Yeah, it doesn't look great.
Right.
I mean, mid-blink.
Yeah, the dude
Maybe
was...
he just left one Vanderbilt.
It's just crazy.
This is TMZ, though.
I know, but come on. But what pisses me off is like, you will send... I heard that, by the way, Frank. You will send your guys there. Like, they respect TMZ more than they respect us. You will send your top guys. You will gladly send them. You must send them. You must talk to them. And this is how they treat you in return. It's whack. It's complete whackness.
What did you think I said that you said you heard it?
You said something about Vanderbilt.
Yeah, well, number one Vanderbilt.
I don't appreciate that in this time. Izzy needs our support in this time, okay?
Got it.
All right? I'm going to tell him that you said that. This guy came in on the Monday after a loss. Again, gifted it by a fan to him. Gift from a fan to him, which he put in his luggage. So it's exactly what I said, right? It's no different than toothpaste. I don't know. Oh, legend. This is a great. I asked Tim if he could come on the show to talk about this, and he said he's at GQ Man of the Year with Leon, and he sent me a picture of him and Leon, which you probably can't see. Leon is wearing one of the all-time great tuxedos. It's like a purple tuxedo. Man, the Leon glow up is something else, right? No one wants to say, wow, yeah, the glow up is great. All right, I think that's that. All right, so it seems like no harm, no foul, all good. We'll have Ash on in the future, but it's time to go. What do you think?
Yeah, as you said, I will copy that.
Yes.
Or repost. What is it that you guys say?
What are we reposting? Efforting?
It's time to go. No.
Retweet.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. All right, here we go. You can hit my music. Time to go. Crazy day. I'm sorry if you guys felt like this is what happens, right? Like, but you know, like, I want you guys to recognize. I'm trying to gather my thoughts. I want you guys to recognize, like, things are happening, and there's media you could trust, and there's media you can't trust. And so when things are happening live on the show, here I am interviewing Yair, seeing these text messages, seeing these links, this and that. But what do? We get you the truth, right? I mean, ultimately, isn't that what you want? Sure, I was like kind of half in, half out, not really sure what was going on, answering questions. We're talking about birthday parties, but at the end of the day, what do we get? What do we get? What do we get? Frank, what do we get?
I need you to repeat that. I was talking.
Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean, this is crazy. What did we get? We got the truth.
Yeah, right.
Right?
Yeah, definitely got the truth. Found out TMZ was kind of embellishing a little bit. Or they just had a bad source.
No, I don't think they had a bad source. I think they had an incomplete story.
There's definitely a difference between being pulled over to, talk about something versus being arrested. Not that I would know. Or so I was told.
Have you ever been arrested?
No.
Tell us right now.
Honestly, I've never been arrested.
True or false?
True that I have never been arrested.
GC, have you been arrested?
I love this so much right now.
Right now. You have?
Nope.
Wow.
From me.
Let my laughter.
Guests. Jason House, Dustin Poirier, Renato Moicano, Yair Rodriguez. Back on Monday, same time, place. Till say peace. I'm out of here.